Hello, everybody. We're doing something a little bit different. Justin and I today, we're going to do a little podcast for you guys. And
Yes.
Justin, I just have to tell you, my inspiration for asking you to start this with me occurred the other day when I was just walking down the street, minding my own business, and this guy, this like strange man, approached me like very abruptly, and he said, "You're Miguel Badia." And I was like, "Whoa." And then he was like, "I need to know, the people need to know your takes and Justin Grohl's takes on all the movies that have come out this year in 2026. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's like, what do Miguel and Justin think about all the movies that have come out this year? So like it seems like everyone is just like so curious to know. So I said, look, man, it's all good. I'll call up Justin and we'll do a tier list. We'll take a look at all the movies that we've seen so far and we'll put them on a tier list. We'll rank them all. And that's why we are here today, because of this random strange man off the streets.
Yeah, it's crazy that's the last time anyone saw Mitch McConnell. I mean, it's just absolute wild that he's a fan of ours.
Yeah, we've got a lot of fans, and I think we'll have more fans after this.
We'll see. We'll see.
Justin, I have to ask you first, like, what's your take on just the first half in general? Like, of all the movies that have come out so far, would you say it's been a strong year for movies so far?
I think it's been an extremely strong year so far. I feel like the sense of hope in movies again, and just
Wow.
the sense that I feel like, movie theaters are starting to come back a bit more, and it feels like streaming, as much as it's still, such a giant in media right now, I feel like people are not taking, theaters for granted, and people are going out to see and support all kinds of things. And yeah, I'm real happy with it as someone who goes to the movies weekly. I'm seeing more and more people there, and I'm just so happy that good stuff's coming out.
Yeah, I feel like the last few years have been maybe a little bit lacking. And I do think a lot of that is because of like some of the like actor strikes and writer strikes that happen and seem to like delay a lot of things. And I feel like now we're starting to get a lot of those like bigger blockbusters. Like I feel like this year's jam-packed with these huge blockbuster movies that we just didn't get the last few years.
Yeah, I mean, and we're only in the first half. I mean, I feel like the biggest stuff is yet to come, but I mean, we still got so much quality stuff. I feel like though the first half, I feel like was a lot more like smaller movies making a big splash, and as someone who loves smaller movies like that, I couldn't be more proud.
For sure. I mean, like no one had even really heard of like Obsession until it came out. Like that was fully word of mouth. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, I remember seeing the trailer in the theater for when I was watching another movie, and that was the first time I'd ever heard of it.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm totally with you. Like these random movies kind of seem to be popping off, but there is still so much left this year that I am excited for. Like it's definitely got me more hyped for movies like The Odyssey, Spider-Man, Dune, which are just going to be insane.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I booked my tickets for the Odyssey. Granted, I'm gonna have to wait a few weeks for my IMAX seat, but so be it. If I'm gonna see the first movie shot completely in IMAX, I'm gonna see it in IMAX.
Yes, as intended, as intended. The closest IMAX theater to me is like half an hour away, which I feel like is pretty good. Like there aren't that many out there.
No, no.
Um,
Unfortunately, the closest one I either have to take a train into New York City, or what I'm doing now is drive 2 hours into Pennsylvania for it.
oh no way. So it's like you're making a whole trip out of
So
it.
I'm making an Odyssey to go see the Odyssey.
Oh, amazing. Well, maybe you'll run into like all sorts of crazy monsters along the way. That's probably likely, I would say.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
Well, anyways, I guess we should preface by saying we have not seen every movie that has come out so far this year. In fact, you've seen a lot more than I have.
Yeah, as much as I would like to say I've seen everything, unfortunately, too many snacks at the concession stand. I can't do it. I need food every single time I see one of these movies, and my stomach just can't handle it.
Yeah, I know. The one semester fans know that your stomach can only handle so much, particularly when it comes to clear liquids.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, well, I'll say I've seen only 10 of these. And you've seen at least twice that amount.
I have seen the count I have here is 22. I mostly overlap with you, with a few exceptions here.
Yeah.
Um, but there's some I've seen, some you've seen, but we've seen good mix together, I would say.
For sure, for sure. I'm excited to like talk about the ones that like you've seen and I haven't, and the ones that I've seen and you haven't.
Hmm.
And I'd be curious, like when we're done with this, I want to know like which are the ones that I haven't seen that like I need to go see like tonight.
Yeah, I definitely have a couple of those right now. For a couple of these, I might get into a bit of a spoiler territory, but if I ever do, it's never going to be, I think, to the detriment of the viewing experience. Um, but there are definitely some movies here I'm going to hold back on as much as possible.
For sure, for sure. I'll try to be as spoiler free as I can, but I can't make any guarantees if I accidentally let something slip. So we'll just see how that goes. And the way that I was thinking about doing this is we would just kind of take turns suggesting a movie to talk about. We'd each give our general thoughts on it, and then we'd agree on a ranking. We've got S, A, B, C, and F tier. S being God tier, amazing movie. A being like really good. B being like okay. C being like kind of not that great. And F being dog shit.
Yeah, that's basically how I've got mine ranked here. Um, so I mean, if we're gonna start, I mean, hmm, I mean, let's just jump right to that bottom there, with Toy Story 5.
Yeah. No, I mean, just came out like 2 weeks ago or something like that.
Yeah, something like
Um,
that.
and I just saw it like this past weekend. And I'll say I really enjoyed it. I was definitely, it exceeded my expectations. I mean, I don't know. Do you remember anything that happened in Toy Story 4? Because I definitely don't.
Oh, I do. Toy Story 4, I much to a lot of people didn't like Toy Story 4 and found it unnecessary. I am in a different camp where I was like, you could see it one way, but I thought it was very necessary to give Woody some closure and just moving on from that part of his life.
Hmm.
Um, and I was a very big fan of the story. We had Keanu Reeves, Key and Peele, all showing up. I thought the villain was, pretty good and pretty sympathetic. My only gripe was just kind of the rest of the cast was kind of cast aside, but unfortunately, I have that same problem
I was
with
gonna
Toy
say it's
Story
this.
5
I
here.
do think like I think Mr. Potato Head has like two lines in this new one, and I love focusing on all of our main characters, but I don't know. Maybe I could use a little more Mr. Potato Head.
I mean, I can't fault them too much for Mr. Potato Head, Mrs. Potato Head, and Slinky Dog. Their voice actors have sadly passed.
Of course.
But you still got Rex there. You still had so many other characters there that I just felt like we are a missing part of the family there.
Yeah.
Um, it's no secret that this movie is very Jesse focused. And I think that that's the exact direction that this movie needed to go. Um, Unfortunately, though, in my opinion, it does so in a way to its detriment by taking Jesse too far out of the way of the other characters.
Do you think they isolated her a little bit too much?
A little bit too much. Like it's been done before in Toy Story 2 with Woody being taken away and stuff. But with that, you had the side plot of everyone else coming to get him. And so
Yeah.
you had all these group dynamics. Whereas in this movie, it felt more so the only characters were Jesse, Bullseye, Buzz, and Woody. our villain, and then a few misfit toys.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from there. I am coming into this movie from a place of like, I saw Toy Story 4 once in the theater, and I genuinely couldn't tell you what happened in most of the movie. So when I heard there was going to be a Toy Story 5, I was like, I don't know if we need another one. Can we like let it rest? The first three are so goated, especially the third one. The third one is like one of my top Pixar movies. But I came out of this movie, Toy Story 5, feeling like it really justified its existence for me, especially with all of like the messaging around like technology and how it's impacting kids. I really was expecting it to be like quite overt in terms of like when I saw the trailer for it, I was like, oh, okay, so it's just gonna be like technology bad and kids aren't playing with toys. But I do feel like it was a little bit more nuanced than that because I mean, I guess I don't want to get into spoilers or whatever, but there's a little bit more to it, which I thought was very well done.
Yeah, I thought that the way it handled technology, I thought was very well done. It did annoy me how often they just use tech. It
That
felt very
okay, I agree with you. I don't like that they kept saying the word tech.
it's tech is everywhere.
Yeah,
And I
that's a little
was
much.
yeah, it felt very I don't know, just very disconnected. But then again, the toys are kind of coming from a generation where they would be a little disconnected in that way.
Hmm.
And so that kind of makes sense. Um, this is a very funny movie. I will say that. I do
Yeah.
think that the Buzz side plot, the extra Buzz side plot, if you will, that the
Yeah.
movie begins on is very funny. I
The
think
whole
that
time
this
I had no idea where it was going, but
I
it was
I
hilarious.
I did I yeah I had no idea either. I was happy with how they incorporated that. I thought that unfortunately though the third act let me down in a way. I didn't feel any stakes in that third act, and
Mhm.
which is unfortunate in a series where they've been able to bring such big stakes to such small moments.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know,
you can't beat like the toys being like about to die in an incinerator. Like there was nothing to that extent in terms of
no,
stakes.
and even just like chasing down a car using a
Yeah,
rock, and it's like who comes up with this? Meanwhile, I don't know. This one, it didn't hit in that way, and it is also the first Toy Story movie where I have not cried, which
that
is
that makes sense. I don't cry easily, but I will say there were some points in this movie where I was like choking up a little bit. So it definitely got me at some
it.
points.
It nearly got me, but it didn't have that Pixar moment. It didn't have that one moment where
Yeah,
it's like it breaks down all your walls and all that. Like in
that's
the first
fair.
one, it's not like a sad thing, but it's to infinity and beyond for me. It's just a perfect moment that I
Yeah.
can't help but cry at. You know, but like, yeah. And then my other thing is I thought Conan O'Brien was hilarious as
Oh,
he
he was
always is.
great. Now
Yeah.
I'm a little bit confused why like the potty training toy has like connection to internet, like it being like a toilet paper toy and it could like send things.
Yeah.
I was a little bit confused by that.
Yeah. But it was not a bad time, but my ex I don't know, my expectations were a little tempered on this.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm probably a little higher on it just because of how underwhelmed I was by four. But
Okay.
where would you rank this film, like in terms of our tier list here?
Okay. So I have it in C tier personally. Number wise, I'm actually shocked at how low I have this. I have the 17th out of 22 this year, but that is honestly just a testament to how good other movies have been.
All right, all right. I have it a lot higher. I
A
have it in
lot
A
higher.
tier. I have it in A tier.
Well, I think
Would
we'd
you
meet
want
in the
to?
middle there.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could meet in the middle and throw it in B.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
Do I go with one that we've both seen, or should we go with one that I've seen that you haven't? There's one here that I do want to talk about, and we don't have to go that deep into it. but I don't think you've seen this one, but correct me if I'm wrong. Um, Prime
Uh,
101.
I have not, unfortunately. That was one that I was actually looking forward to, and I just missed it in theaters.
You know, you're probably glad because I really disliked this movie.
Really?
I found it to be such a snooze fest. And for such a star-studded cast, it was really underwhelming.
Mm.
And I think it really just like for me had to do with like the tone of it all was quite slow. There were definitely some fun moments of action. There's one like pretty good like car chase sequence. It's essentially like kind of like spy like action movie. I mean Crime 101, it's kind of like in the t also bad title for a movie. Like
I mean, did you learn anything? I mean,
no, I don't think I learned anything about how to commit crimes.
well,
Because
don't
all the
worry.
characters commit crimes like poorly in this.
Well, don't worry, because there's another movie coming out this year I'm much more excited for. If you didn't
Oh,
learn anything from Crime 101, maybe you'll learn something from How to Rob a Bank.
oh, okay. Maybe that's the tutorial that
Maybe,
I
maybe,
need.
maybe that's the intro
I
course.
have not heard of this movie.
It same guy that made Bullet Train.
Okay, I like Bullet Train, so
So,
all right. Well,
um,
maybe that's a better tutorial, but I'm willing to put Crime 101 in F tier.
really,
Yes, I really was like, I don't know. This is like one of those movies, which it's very rare that I feel this way, but I saw it in the theaters and there's no like real rational logical reason for this, but I just wanted it to end. Like I was like, what's could we get to the point? I felt like it dragged. I also thought that Barry Keoghan's acting was very annoying in this because every scene he would just scream and I was like, what is happening? So yeah, for not very logical reasons, I was just not feeling Crime 101. So I'm willing to throw it in the dumpster.
okay. Um, I mean, I can't stop you. I haven't seen the movie. Maybe if I saw the movie, I could have convinced you to C tier, but you know, I'm defenseless here. I I will say I do agree with a sentiment that you have on another movie on this list here about it about wanting it to end.
Okay,
I have one of
let's
those
hear that.
movies.
Let's hear that one.
You
I'm
want to hear that
dropping.
one?
Yeah,
So
let's hear that one.
so this is not my least favorite movie of the year, by the way. This
Okay,
is my second least favorite year of the movie of the
you
year.
movie of the year.
Words. And that would be Passenger.
Ooh, yes, I heard this was kind of garbage.
This is one of the most nothing movies I've ever seen in my entire life. Um, the trailer for this movie is the best part in this movie, and it is the opening scene.
Hmm.
And even that is terrible, but it's the best part of the movie. So essentially, Passenger is about a hitchhiker ghost called the Passenger. And essentially, what happens is somehow, some way, if you stop your car along a road, the passenger ghost will get in and kill you.
Oh, I do remember seeing the trailer for this.
And the trailer is just a guy going out to go to the bathroom, and he comes back. Oh no! What could have happened to him? The passenger got him. So that happens, and then we spend. I think this movie couldn't have been an hour and a half in runtime. It felt like I was sitting there for 3 hours though.
Hmm.
Um, the rest of the movie follows a couple who abandons their very nice luxury Brooklyn apartment to start living in a van. So they
Okay.
start van life, and it takes maybe 40 minutes until we get to anything spooky. The rest of it is just lifetime Hallmark, life on the road type stuff.
Oh, wow, that's kind of a 180 from what the trailer made it seem like.
And then when the scary stuff does start happening, it's not scary at all. It felt like there was nothing to this. And so I had no reason to what I was wondering how this movie even got greenlit. I was like, there's nothing here.
It sounds
Um,
like it looks like the tagline here is "Don't ever stop," but it sounds like it sounds like you were saying, please make it stop.
Yes, I was. And it's funny that that's the tagline because they stopped quite a bit. As a horror aficionado, this was an insult to me.
Wow, you're insulted.
I was insulted, but not as insulted as another movie that we will get to later because I can't go from F to F again. I
Oh my
need
God.
I need a
Yeah, we,
break.
we have to talk about something good. We have to talk about
We need
something
to talk
good.
about something good before I get to the worst movie of this year.
You know what? I loved Project Hail Mary.
Let's talk about Project Hail Mary.
I That's one of my favorite movies that I've seen this year. And I definitely love like any sort of sci-fi movies, so I'm definitely like pretty biased here. And any like space movies I love. Like one of my favorite movies is Interstellar.
Mhm.
And like, when I saw the trailer for this, I was like, this is the sort of thing that's up my alley, I feel like. I did not read the book, but I kind of want to now from
Yeah.
seeing the movie. Um, but The Martian was good. That came out a while back, and that is based on a book by the same author.
Yes.
So it's kind of similar vibes. It's a little silly space adventure sort of thing. And I was really pleased. I had a really great time with the movie. I loved I mean, I guess spoilers, but anything with Rocky was really fun to me.
Mhm.
So I genuinely had a great time. And one of my favorite things about this movie was that it just had like a happy ending and was like pretty heartwarming. Like to be honest, throughout the movie, I was like, I don't know how this ends. I don't know if he's actually gonna succeed, but spoiler alert, it all works out.
Well, in a sense, yeah. This is the movie that started the discussion of Hope Core again this year. That whole discussion being brought
Yes.
up. And I wouldn't say spoilers on Rocky's appearance. When this movie came out, I was upset that Rocky was introduced in the trailer, but a lot of people who had read the book beforehand and after I saw it, I was like, you can't not market Rocky. He is literally the co-lead of this movie.
Yeah, it's the full premise of the movie is that he meets an alien.
It's like watching Ocean's 11, but you only know that one person is in there besides the 11. um, but yeah, I thought that this movie was amazing. I thought performances were great. Ryan Gosling is always a
Oh,
treat,
he's
but
so fun. I love him in everything. He's so
he
charismatic.
he is, and he's such a very versatile actor, but he is not the best actor in this movie. The best actor in this movie is, in fact, the puppeteer and voice of Rocky, James Ortiz, um, who wasn't even supposed to be the voice, but they liked his voice so much that they were just like, "We want you to do it."
That's awesome.
Um, and doing Rocky all practically and having that set just be so practical and like it felt like a throwback to how I guess movies used to be made and stuff. Like it very much felt like a throwback in modern times.
And the movie looked beautiful. I
It did.
mean, even with like the special effects and things like that, like everything looked flawless. In an age where I feel like a lot of movies that have kind of like CGI like that are looking a little bit worse, just
Hmm.
because I'm thinking more of like big blockbuster comic book movies where like there have been several where I'm like, we're in the 2020s and CGI looks this bad. But you take a movie like this that mixes like the practical effects and the CGI, and it just everything looks so great in the movie.
Hmm. And it's so colorful too. I mean, for a movie in space, you wouldn't expect the darkness of space to provide such beautiful visuals, but it does. And in an age you're talking about CGI, I'm more focused on the color grading where
Yeah.
everything's all gray and washed out.
Oh
And like this
yeah.
just felt so vibrant. It felt like there was, life behind everything and that was great. I was also a big fan of the story structure. Um, it was not how I was expecting the story to be told. I thought it'd be a very linear story, but instead we're being told two stories side by side, and I feel like it just made the movie 10 times better, you
Yeah,
know?
no, definitely. I love like shift movies that like shift perspectives like that. That's
Hmm.
always fun. No, I
Yeah.
I had a great time with this. And yeah, it looks great. Ryan Gosling is awesome. I'm willing to put this in S tier. This was one of my favorite movies that I've seen so far.
Okay, I can see that. I have it in A tier only because I was very picky with what I had in my personal S tier. This was number 6 on my list. I have 5 movies ahead of this,
Hey,
but I would be
if you
very
guys
willing.
if you've got 5 movies ahead of this, that's a good chunk.
Yeah, but I only have 3 in my personal S tier.
Okay.
But I would be willing to bump this up to S. I think a movie like this deserves to kind of be up there for being what it is.
All
Uh,
right. Let's drop it in S tier then.
yeah.
Congratulations, Project Hail Mary. You are our first S tier.
All right, what do we got up next here? I mean, I feel like then we kind of got to jump to the other Alien movie here. Well, we got two technically. But let's talk about Disclosure Day.
Yeah.
Newest outing from Steven Spielberg. Um, about kind of government conspiracy and aliens. You know, two areas I feel like he's very adept in his films. You know, he's had Close Encounters, which I feel like is probably the spiritual successor to, in many ways with government cover up and all that.
Yeah.
E.T., War of the Worlds, you know, all these kinds of things. Even unfortunately, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Uh,
Right. Unfortunately.
unfortunately, but you know,
Yeah. I kind of forgot that that was a thing in that movie. Like alien something with like aliens happens.
I think that they're interdimensional beings is the official marking of them.
Do we see the aliens in Kingdom
We
of the
do.
Crystal Skull?
So
And
in
they're
the end,
quite
when we
oh
spoiler alert for Indiana Jones 4, the Mayan temple turns into a UFO,
that's right. That's so
and
weird.
all the crystal skeletons come together to make an alien
But
and kill
yeah,
Kate Blanchett.
it's kind of awesome,
But
but
also, it's like,
it,
what was going on here?
yeah, I don't know. You know what I noticed when I so there were I enjoyed Disclosure Day. Thought it was pretty
Mhm.
good. Not like my top movies, but I thought it was pretty good, especially the ending. I thought everything with the like final like news report and they're kind of reacting to like everything kind of coming out. I thought that was a wonderful scene.
Yes.
What really stood out to me about this movie, I would say my main takeaway when I left the theater from this movie, we saw the alien at the very end, and
Mhm.
I said to myself, wow, that alien looks a lot like E.T.
Really?
Like with the big eyes or whatever. I guess E.T.'s eyes aren't huge, but same like kind of vibes. I feel like Spielberg's aliens kind of all look the same. And I'm like, is there like a Steven Spielberg cinematic universe where all these aliens are coming from the same place?
Well, I mean, E.T. is canonically in Star Wars.
Oh, that's
Uh,
right. That's right. There's an
but
E.T. cameo.
I
Yeah,
actually
right,
think
in the
these look
prequels.
more like Close Encounters aliens. These were very much like your stereotypical, like little green men, except they were gray, of course.
Yeah.
Type alien, no big head, big eyes, and lanky body.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you mentioned the ending. Big shout to I think her name is Courtney Grace for playing the newscaster at the end of this
Yeah. She
movie.
was great. She had the best performance in the movie.
She by far had well, yeah, I think definitely. I think Emily Blunt is close behind.
Yeah. She was great too.
I thought everyone did a great job in the roles they were given.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, I think that the script kind of fails this movie a little bit. I
Yeah.
think that it kind of it doesn't it simultaneously goes too deep into things while also being very surface level. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And it unfortunately seems to be a running theme recently with that screenwriter, David Koepp, who
Oh,
has
what else
worked
has
with
he done?
Spielberg in the past on Jurassic Park and all that,
Hmm.
but he's also made the new Jurassic Park stuff, and those aren't the best movies.
Yeah.
Um, it's just unfortunate because I do think that Spielberg has caught a lot of flack because of that. And I thought that he directed this movie spectacularly. I thought it had all the same charm that every other movie's had has. You know, the action scenes are intense. Um, the characters like have just great like great chemistry together.
Mhm.
Um, and I also think that this felt like a passion project that unfortunately just didn't pan out. Um,
Yeah, I have to agree with you just in terms of the script. There's something about like when I was watching through this, some parts felt a little bit disjointed. It's hard to articulate, but I do think the writing could have been a little bit tighter.
mhm.
But you have all the ingredients of like a great Spielberg film, like you said, like the great action, the characters, even the music, the
Oh,
John
yeah,
Williams score. Like there were several parts during the movie where I'm like, wow, like I really hear the score here. Like it really stands out. I don't know if it's like memorable, but when you're watching it, like it's very like, the orchestral, like, just the classic type of music you would expect in a Spielberg movie. It stands out when you're watching this.
I actually think that the movie stands out the best when that music cuts out, when John Williams' score is absent, because you
Yeah.
can really notice,
You
and
feel
it
the
really
silence.
pulls you in more.
Yeah.
Especially in the train scene that's in the trailer.
Mhm.
Um, I don't in hmm, I'm trying to think if there's music in the dialogue between the girlfriend and Colin Firth,
Mhm.
his character in the kitchen there, which I thought
Um,
was one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
you're talking
Um,
about in the beginning when like the bird comes in.
when he kind of mind leaps into her and
Oh
takes her over.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought that
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 was a
scene
good scene.
was spectacular. Um, which I don't know. I went into this with high hopes, and I came out lukewarm on it.
There was one scene that comes to mind as well that I was like kind of raising an eyebrow at. And that was when Josh O'Connor's character was kind of like sneaking around the house at one point where with
Uh-huh.
all like the agents like looking around. There had to be like 100 of those guys there. And he was like kind of just like sneaking around the fences and stuff. And I'm just like, how does not a single one of them see him? Like he's not really trying to hide that well. That kind of bugged me in that one scene. That's very much a nitpick, but I just thought that was kind of funny in the moment.
It just yeah. I mean, he's been playing too much Metal Gear Solid. I mean, he knows what he's doing.
I guess so. I guess so.
Yeah.
Okay. Where would you rate Disclosure Day?
I have it in 14th, so pretty close to the middle here. But it is my first C I have on my list here.
Yeah,
It is the top of C on my list here.
I'm down to put it in C. I think that's
Yeah.
where it belongs.
I do want to give a shout though, because people keep saying that 2020 Spielberg doesn't have the sauce anymore. Go back and watch West Side Story. Go back and watch The Fablemans. These are top tier movies. This
Yeah.
unfortunately just wasn't it.
No, I definitely think he still got the sauce. And like I said, this has a lot of the like ingredients of a great Spielberg, but it probably just didn't hit as much as like some of the classics.
Yeah, he just needs to work with Tony Kushner from now on. That's where his writing partner is now.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Cool. All right. Let's see. Where do we go from here? What's a fun one? I saw Supergirl pretty recently.
I also saw Supergirl pretty recently. Before we get into
So
that, I just
yeah,
want to say the trailer I saw beforehand. It was the only trailer I saw beforehand. It was a 6 minute montage of all of Tom Cruise's
I
acting
saw that
roles.
too. I saw this. I was so confused. I was like, what is this?
I was like, I guess we're just thanking Tom Cruise for some reason. And all of
Was
a
it?
sudden, Money for Nothing kicks in, and it's a Digger.
I know it was so odd. Like it's like is the marketing for this just like, oh, Tom Cruise?
Well, they finally dropped the trailer, I think today or yesterday.
Okay.
Um, and it we can talk about it another time, but it reminds me very much of Mickey 17 in a certain way.
Interesting.
Um, but
Interesting. I haven't
Supergirl,
seen the trailer yet. But yeah, anyways, Supergirl. So to preface, I did read the Woman of Tomorrow comic before seeing this movie,
Very
I
nice.
really enjoyed it, but I do think that was a mistake, like
Yeah.
reading it before the movie, because it just made me more underwhelmed by the movie. And this is one that I was really looking forward to. I'm a big fan of James Gunn's DCU. I have high
Mhm.
hopes for it. And knowing that, this was going to be so close to like the source material, it being based on an actual book, I had, very high expectations going into it. And I have to say, like, it follows the story of the comic generally. Um, but most of the characters that it pulls in from the comics, I just think are more interesting in the comic. Like, I thought that Ruthie was kind of bland. I thought that the villain, Krem, was kind of a little too silly for me. It just didn't hit, and I found myself underwhelmed by those aspects.
Um, yeah, I have not read the comic, but I do know that the comic is very well celebrated. I've seen many visuals from the comic, and so it's very interesting that we're coming onto this movie after Disclosure Day because I have the exact opposite take on it. I believe that the script is actually pretty good for a movie it's taking its liberties, of
Mhm.
course, but I thought the direction failed this movie. And
I have the like a very similar thought about this.
I think that this movie could have looked so much more beautiful. It could have looked so much more colorful. It could have been so much more fun while still handling the themes of the story. Um, and unfortunately, it's just another movie, which I hate to say, it's another movie that lets down a female superhero because they deserve so much better
Yeah,
than that.
I really thought this movie was going to be great.
Mhm.
And there really just haven't been many like great female-led superhero movies, which is unfortunate because there's so much opportunity for it. But I agree with you. I think that the script for this, and I'm sure that they shot like a really great film, but like my reaction to this was I really felt like the editing was very jarring at certain points. And it's the sort of thing where was like, I was thinking like maybe I would have like switched these scenes or
I have
maybe like one example, right? In the middle of the movie, they cut to like a 20-minute flashback from Krypton, which is an interesting story about, Krypton's demise and how Supergirl was, taken to Earth after Superman and all that. Interesting part, but they departed from like the main story so much to it kind of just like paused everything in the movie and we're getting a 20-minute flashback scene.
yeah,
That was a very bizarre choice to me. Um, Additionally, the beginning of the movie was quite strange.
yes,
So I think it opens with a scene where Supergirl is like at a bar
yes.
and it's kind of this like funny little like action scene where I think she's like playing with like, I don't even remember what happens. There's like a horse thing involved.
She's just kind of going around and being drunk and partying. Because I think I know
Yeah.
exactly where you're going right now.
But then
Because
it cuts to this like dark like scene of this poor girl's like family being killed and it's a
yes,
complete tonal shift and I'm like, and then it goes back to Supergirl being silly.
yes, that I'm so happy you brought that up because that was the moment I realized that the direction ending had kind of gone because you salvage that beginning by starting with Ruthie's introduction. You start with that darkness,
Yeah.
and then you hard cut to Supergirl to just show how detached she is from that world, how she doesn't have a care in the world. You could have had that work,
Yeah,
but for some
I
reason
am
we
so
just
glad that we're in like complete agreement about that. Like we like genuinely the same exact thought about that.
yes. Um, and then with the Krypton stuff, I really like that scene. I understand that it kind of pauses the rest of the movie. It was one of my favorite parts of the movie. I love the fact that they only spoke Kryptonian. Like they didn't like do, oh, we're speaking English. Like they fully spoke their own language, which we've established in Superman.
Yeah.
And I thought that it conveyed the theme of the movie, which I really liked, but I just wish that the movie executed on it more, which was um, be you can be good, but you don't have to be like nice about it, you know? Like it was like you don't have to be this like picture perfect person to be a good person.
Mhm.
And I was like, this works perfectly with her character arc. And it just kind of fumbles it, unfortunately.
It's like they had all the scenes. It's like the
Mhm.
scenes were all there. They filmed everything. It was written well, and then they just like botched up the editing. Like I don't know, maybe it would have been like that scene would have been better in some other part of the movie, something like that. But
I think you cut it up and you
yeah,
drop it throughout the movie. I think that's what you do.
I could see that working better.
Um, and on the topic of the villain, I was okay with the villain not being that interesting. I saw a good point somewhere that he's less so a character and more so just this embodiment of grief and like each of the characters' problems, you know? And
Yeah,
he worked more so as a plot device, and I was okay with that.
see, he's very in the comic. So now because I read the comic, I have to be like, well, in the comic. But you know, in the comic, he's very just like a guy. Like he doesn't have like all these like weird like I don't know, like he is like kind of like bald in the movie, has these like weird
Okay,
piercings or whatever. Like he looks like extra like goofied up in the movie. And they have him like act a little like I guess, like silly
weird.
sometimes. Yeah, he's kind of like a
He's a
weird
weirdo.
guy in the movie.
He's a
That,
freak.
yeah, like that was like an intentional choice to make in the movie where like I definitely like what you're saying is definitely the intention behind the character and that matches with the comic as well. But it's almost like they departed from that by making him goofy in the movie.
Yeah, it, I guess he would have worked much better as just a normal guy. Um, yeah.
Um, I had something else. Oh, what did you think about the needle drop that everyone's talking about?
I was gonna say that we can't go off this without it. I I have gone back and forth on it so much, which isn't a good sign. Cause like I get it, but it took me out of the movie.
For sure.
But looking back on it, I'm like, it wasn't that bad. Now I haven't rewatched the scene, and if I rewatch the scene, I might go back to this is not a good fit. But in concept, it fits. You know what I mean? It just wasn't executed well.
Yeah, it's the execution for me. Like, it's a fun like fight scene and everything, but I'm so much more focused on the music
Hmm.
than what's going on in that scene, just because I don't know, it was a very odd choice. It was very James Gunn though.
It was, from what I've heard, he kind of worked on that part,
That
which
doesn't surprise
disappoints
me.
me. But like, he's done so much better with needle drops. Like, I can't think that this was all his choice here.
Oh, he has some of the best needle drops ever in his
Yeah.
movies.
And then one more thing. What did you think of Lobo, Jason Momoa?
Lobo was fun. And you know, I agree with what everyone's saying. You know, Jason Momoa was born to play him because he kind of just plays himself in the
Hmm.
movie. To me, he felt a little out of place. I don't really think that he moved the plot forward in any significant ways, besides, I guess he helped Ruthie escape the cage in that one
Actually,
scene.
he didn't.
Actually, no, she did it all on her own, so he was just kind of like cheering her on or whatever.
Yeah,
So he was just kind of there for fun, which I think I'm okay with,
yeah.
but I don't think he necessarily needed to be there. What do you think?
I agree. I think he was born to play this role. I think he looks the part. He is that part. Um, I honestly think he is just there for comic relief, action scenes because Kara doesn't do too much throughout the movie until the end. She kind of holds back a lot.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, she's also weak. I'm actually very happy that she was like weakened throughout a lot of the movie because it goes into the whole argument Superman's not fun because he's unstoppable. Well, we
Right.
saw in that movie and we saw in this movie, like Kryptonians can be stopped.
For
Like
sure.
there are ways to do that. Um, but I just think he's in there more as an expansion to the universe,
Mhm.
which I think is what this movie kind of was meant to be in the first place. Just an expansion.
Yeah. It did
Yeah.
feel like a lot of kind of like world building.
Yeah. But yeah. So uh I have this just below disclosure day. I have this in 15th. Um like I said, it wasn't awful, but I wish it was more. I have it in C on my list.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. Let's put it right here.
Yeah, I would yeah. Um Perfect.
Cool. All right. Now which movie do you want to talk about?
I should probably get one of my solo ones out of the way here real quick.
Yeah.
What do I
What's
got
what's
here?
one that you really liked that I haven't seen?
Really liked? Fine, we'll just jump right into Minions and Monsters here.
Hell yeah.
Um this I'm gonna give the ranking first. I just think it's important. I have this in fifth place. This is in my top five. This is number five of the year.
Oh wow.
This is an A tier for me.
Okay. I'll
This
I'll I'll go ahead and throw it right in A tier because I haven't seen it yet.
this is one of the funniest movies of the year, in my opinion. It does the Minions right because what it does is it makes them characters. I feel like in the other movies, like in the first Minions and in the second one, they're kind of just there chasing an objective and they're Looney Tuning their way through it. In this movie, they actually have personality and they actually have reasoning behind what they do. It is very much a story. I'll preface this: Minions and Monsters might not be the best title for this movie. The best title for this movie should have been Minions Go to Hollywood because that's what the movie is. It is the Minions fooling around in a tribute to silent film and old Hollywood with some of the best gags I've seen and some of the best, like, craziest callbacks you never would have thought. Like, there is a full on, like, Citizen Kane reference. There is there is a ton of Charlie Chaplin references, Buster Keaton. There's just so much that like gives its appreciation for just like all the silent film stars and how far Hollywood's come. And like it goes from that kind of silent era into thus the monsters aspect, which I feel like, was sort of the weaker part of the movie, unfortunately. But once you get to that third act, it kicks back into gear. Um, Great voice cast that I thought did a much better job than I thought. Christoph Waltz is in there. Jesse Eisenberg is in there, and he's
Are they
great.
playing minions? Like, are they just doing
No,
noises?
they are other characters.
Okay.
Um, yeah, Christoph Waltz is an old director who kind of helps the minions out, and I won't say what Jesse Eisenberg is because he
I do want to watch it, like,
yeah
because since you've had such like high praise for it, and I've heard similarly, like people are really liking this. I was probably gonna skip it, but I don't think I can now.
no, this movie is funny and I feel like it has a real heart to it and it really shows how much the filmmakers just like care about movies in general. And that's sometimes just like an amazing thing to see that like these aren't just like corporate executives just pumping out IP. These are people who truly like care about the art and are like glad to show their inspirations.
Like, it's not just soulless corporate goons. Like behind the scenes, there are truly people who actually care about film.
Yes, and I would have never expected that Illumination would be the company to give me that hope.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone saw this coming.
No, but yeah, and George Lucas is in the movie. Um,
Oh, wow. I did not know that. But
but
that's
yeah,
awesome. Just playing himself.
Yes, play. He's George Lucas as George Lucas.
Oh, that's great. That's so good.
Yeah,
Cool. Let's do another one of your movies since you've got more.
another one.
Yeah,
Oh man, another one.
another one.
All right, let's go into the movie I double featured with Minions and Monsters, and that would be Evil Dead Burn.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. So I'm a big fan of the Evil Dead movies. I don't think there's been a bad Evil Dead movie. Um, Obviously starting out with the trilogy with Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell, all of those all-star movies. Then we had kind of a reboot that was very bloody, and then we had the surprise. I think it was 2021, 2022 of Evil Dead Rise, and that movie kind of like brought Evil Dead into kind of a new era where the villains were more fun. I mean, these are very mean movies. I mean,
Hmm.
no doubt about it. But they have fun with how mean they are, and like they get creative, they get nasty, they just have this feeling to them that's like B movie schlock that is also just like all star. Like it's done by people who again who care about horror movies.
Yeah.
I'm sad to say this movie is the worst of them all.
Oh no, I thought you were teeing it up to say it was really good.
No, because I had to bring you up
Yeah,
to
no,
how I feel about this franchise.
now I'm devastated for you.
Exactly. I When I was watching this movie, I was like, this does not feel like an Evil Dead movie. Like this feels like this could have been named something else. And it very much kind of treats it that way. I mean, the way that the villains are often brought in is that someone reads from the Book of the Dead, the Necronomicon. They don't do that in this movie. And
Mm,
I actually kind of liked the reasoning they had for why the villains were there. But unfortunately, the set is just so bland. It's just an old rundown house
mm.
that someone actually lives in the plot. And I'm like, you live here. This looks disgusting. No one would actually live in this.
Like in terms of it's just like bland and boring.
Oh, it's bland. Well, it's like a very rundown house. It's
Mm,
just like you live here.
yeah.
You're also very wealthy.
Okay. So just not really believable that someone would actually
It's
live
not it
there.
wasn't believable in a like this movie's built on the cabin in the wood. Like this was like the cabin in the woods movie. Um and it just like I don't know, it I would have rather been in the tiny log cabin for this movie. But instead we're in just a very boring set
Mm.
that didn't kind of take advantage of it. The villains, I don't know, they didn't do anything. Like they had their kills and all, but like I didn't have fun watching them. Like typically,
Are there any redeeming qualities for this movie?
I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, like not really.
That's
Um,
disappointing.
like it's gory, it does all that. It explores, unf it tries to tackle a heavy subject matter, and it does so pretty poorly. Um, that being domestic violence. And I was every time they tried to bring it up, I was like, this is sort of offensive how you are incorporating this into your plot. And it did not feel like a movie in this franchise. And I was very let down. So right now I have it as a C, but now that I'm talking out loud, like this is an F
Yeah,
movie.
this sounds to me like an F tier
This
movie.
is an F, the more I talk about it, the more disdain I have for this movie. F tier. Yeah.
And do you put it below Passenger?
No, Passenger's still worse.
Okay. So
And I do
I'll
think
probably stick it between Crime 101
I have
and
a feeling
Passenger.
Crime 101's better.
It like I'm probably personally biased against Crime 101 just of how bored I was. I don't know if
Uh,
other people were as bored as I was.
like you might have been bored by that. I was offended a little bit by, as an Evil Dead fan, by Evil Dead games.
Like this was like this hurt your soul to go through.
It was just such a major disappointment for a
Yeah.
franchise that I felt had new life to it. Like Evil Dead Rise, like go watch the franchise and you'll see Evil Dead Rise is such a fun time.
Yeah.
Like it really is.
I'm not big on horror, but these do kind of sound fun.
I think I would recommend for you, don't watch the first movie, watch the second and third. I think those are
Okay.
right in your, because those are the horror comedies. The
Is the
third one very much so. The third one's such a comedy.
okay. I could do a horror comedy.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah, I tend to stay away from horror movies.
yeah. And then also the second one kind of redoes the first movie in like the first 20 minutes by
Okay.
just shrinking down its cast. And then the rest of the movie is a sequel. And I was like, this is interesting.
Yeah.
But um but
Well,
yeah.
maybe the older ones are worth going back to
Oh,
then.
100%. You get all the Sam Raimi. You get the king himself, Bruce Campbell, who I love seeing on screen any chance I get.
Yeah.
And the first one, it's one of the greatest indie movies ever made. I think one of the most influential indie movies ever made.
Well, speaking of Sam Raimi, there is a Sam Raimi film on this list that we haven't spoken about yet,
There is.
and that's Send Help. Um,
Yes.
I'll just say for me, Send Help, I really enjoy it. Um, our main two actors, Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien, were just so like they had such great chemistry. Essentially, it's just like, some woman and her boss stranded on a deserted island. Like that's the premise. Pretty
Hmm.
simple, but the way that they just increasingly antagonize each other throughout the movie is so amusing. And it just goes way more like over the top than even I was expecting.
Hmm.
It's crazy because the movie starts off so just like normal, like it's just her going to work and her boss is an asshole and then she goes home and she's kind of sad or whatever and it's like okay, like, and
Well,
then as soon as she gets to as soon as the like plane crash scene happens,
uh,
then everything just starts going insane and it's a lot of fun.
I mean, as a Survivor fan, I mean, what'd you think of this movie?
Well, the funniest part to me, well, one of the funnier parts was when she's like sitting at home, she turns on the TV and she's watching Survivor 47 and they name drop like a random person from that cast, like not a significant person. She goes, like, she sits down on the couch and she's like, man, I really hope that Keyshawn doesn't get voted out. And that is like the most like insignificant random character from like a random season they could have gone with. So I just think that was an interesting choice. Like, and there was a lot of like marketing of this movie that was like, oh, it's like if you like Survivor, you should watch this movie. Which,
Well, that was my marketing towards you.
well, there were actually people in like the Survivor, community on social media promoting this movie. Um, Now, I don't think this movie is really anything like Survivor, except for the fact that it's just on a deserted island. But nevertheless, I thought the reference was kind of funny.
So I saw this, I think, the week it came out, and I also just rewatched this maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe 1 week ago,
Nice.
and still holds up in that time. This is such a fun movie. Um, I wouldn't, I can't say too much, but it has a few twists that I thought were expertly done that really made the movie for me.
Yes.
Um, but this movie 100% hinges on the chemistry between Dylan O'Brien and Rachel McAdams, and I think they nail it 1,000,000%. I think they have such a natural chemistry. Like I've seen interviews, they get along so well in real life. You would not be able to tell if you watch this movie. Like they go at each other in such a way that I just like have so much fun watching them bicker.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
And it has, I think it has the only scene of this year that I legitimately squirmed in my seat, and I think you might know what it might be.
Is it that one like weird like jump scare thing?
It is not a jump scare. No, no, no. This is a very slow scene. Um,
Oh, I
with
know exactly
with
which one you're talking about.
some payback
Yes. That's a
put on
great
Dylan
scene.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Um, I just thought that this movie handled its dynamics so well. Um, I enjoyed seeing them trying to survive, and I just feel like their character arcs just made so much sense.
Yeah.
That is to say, if Dylan O'Brien even had a character arc to begin with.
I guess not in the grand scheme of things.
But, not the same person, but still very much the
Yeah.
same person who crashed on that plane.
The ending scene is really amusing
Hmm.
too. Like, I mean, there are just so many like memorable moments in this
Yeah.
that yeah, I just had such a great time with. Like, this is up there for one of my favorite movies that I've seen this year.
Yeah, it's such just a pulpy movie. This very much would have been like a B movie kind of back then. And
Totally.
like that's kind of things that we need. We just need stuff that is just like this premise and we just hop right into it, you know. Um I have this in eighth place of the year. Um Talking it out, I have it in B. I think I could put this in A tier.
I was gonna say I think this deserves an A.
Yeah, I think that this is A tier.
All right, I'll put it in there.
All right.
Awesome. All right, where do we go next?
How do we segue? How do we segue? Um Send Help. What came out around Send Help here? I'm not doing that one yet. I'm holding off on that one. So did you end up actually watching Hoppers before this?
I didn't end up getting to it. I thought about it and then I realized I did not have time. But I rewatched the trailer for it and and I was like, oh yeah, that does look kind of fun. But you saw Hoppers, so
Yeah,
what did you
I'll
think?
I'll I'll talk about Hoppers. I thought it was. Let me check my list here. All right, I have this in Toy Story 5 pretty neck and neck. My thoughts on them are pretty much similar.
Okay.
Um, I will say this is a funnier movie than Toy Story 5 by far.
All right.
I thought that the message was pretty good. I thought the characters were interesting. Like the plot was, the plot. Like it very much was just a movie to me. Like
Do they ever say it's hopping time and hop all over the guys?
no, they don't. I feel
Uh,
like no. I thought the villain was fun. I thought the third act was a lot of fun with what they did with this movie. Um, they they had some shenanigans. And any time that we kind of saw the humans' perspective of these animals, I was always laughing because the animals they all talk to each other in Pixar form.
yeah.
But once we jump to humans' perspective, they're just little beady-eyed little animals that are doing goofy things. Um,
How does this rank against like other non-sequel Pixar movies?
Low because Pixar's had some very high highs.
Yeah, it's a high bar.
Like this is not. It had a Pixar moment. It was not a sad Pixar moment.
Hmm.
Which like it's unfortunate that like that's how I'm kind of talking about Pixar movies is like did they make me cry? But like when the best work that you've ever done can just absolutely pierce the heart of so many people of any generation, any
Mhm.
background, like unfortunately like it just kind of diminishes anything that sort of is just okay
What
in
was the
retrospect.
last what was the last like truly great Pixar movie?
This might be a hot take because like a lot of people don't I feel like I don't see people talk about this movie too much, but Luca. I thought Luca was a brilliant movie, and it was just it did it did what Pixar can do best, which is take a very small world and just insert so much heart
Mhm.
into it.
Yeah.
Um, and I thought that this movie could have gotten there, but it focused more on the comedy, which, okay, if you want to go comedy, go right ahead. But stacked up against other movies in both Pixar's catalog and this year, it just kind of doesn't stand out at all. Nothing
Yeah.
bad about it, but nothing that made me say, "Wow, I need to see this movie again."
Yeah, I'm just waiting for like, I mean, I guess Toy Story 5 is kind of like this, but I'm just waiting for like Pixar to drop another movie where people are like, this is like truly up there,
Generational.
like
Which,
generational.
and I'm sorry to say, but I think Disney's being left in the dust in this regard. I think every single other animation studio is going to get to that point before Disney gets back there.
Yeah, I mean, we've had like great movies from DreamWorks. I mean, we
So,
had Illumination with Minions and Monsters.
well, I think I can point out each studio's next banger.
Yeah, let's
It's
hear it.
DreamWorks with Forbidden Island. Like that,
That one looks pretty fun.
it chokes me up just watching the trailer, and I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Made by the same person, some same people who made Puss in Boots: Last Wish, an
I
awesome
mean,
movie.
a banger. Yeah.
Illumination has another movie coming out next year, called Not Alone, and it looks more adult, like a romance, but with
Hmm.
goofy little aliens kind of thrown about.
Yeah.
And that one looks like it could be a real hit, like a
Is
real like
is that is it like is Timothy Chalamet in that?
it's Timothy Chalamet and Selena Gomez.
Yeah. So
And
Disney
like
might get left in the dust a little bit here.
and then obviously you have Leica with Wildwood coming out at the end of this year, which looks to be a masterpiece.
Yeah, that one looks fun. There is another Disney animated movie coming out that's like about witches.
Hex.
Yeah, Hexed. I did see the trailer for that recently.
And unfortunately I was bored.
Yeah, it didn't stand out too
Like
much.
when I heard that movie was announced, I was like, I want to like this movie. Haley Steinfeld, Rashida Jones, witches, like we could have so much fun here. And it just I was like, okay.
Yeah. Well, Disney always like for a lot of their great movies, not Pixar necessarily, but Disney, like their movies have like great music a lot of the times, like Frozen, Moana, like those types of movies. Is Hexed gonna be a musical?
It does not look like it now. Which
I don't know.
it's
I
a
feel like
wait.
that's kind of a mistake.
Yeah, I
We
don't
haven't
know.
had like a great like musical Disney movie in a while, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, we had Mufasa.
Oh, great. Yeah. Oh, how could I forget?
The great Mufasa. Um, so I think I would put this in C tier. I mean, it's where I would have had Toy Story, but I mean, you like Toy Story, so it went up a little bit.
I was
I
going
would
to
put
Toy Story
I
5.
would put this though. I would put it in between Disclosure Day and Supergirl.
Cool. All right. What's one that we can talk about now? Can I tell you about Office Romance?
Yes, I know one thing about this movie.
Oh, I think it might be the only thing that I like about this movie. What are you thinking of?
Miguel, this can't be the what. Like, please,
I
like,
genuinely,
please
if we're thinking
take
about the same thing, it is the one thing that I liked about this
please
movie.
take that off the record if this is not the thing. Like, even this if this is the thing, please take it back. But
What
the one
the
thing I know about this movie is everyone's like, "Wow, I can't believe I got jump scared by this," and it is the full-on shot of a baby being born.
that was my favorite part of the movie.
Are you?
Because let me tell you, Justin, everything else was like so boring. And Jennifer Lopez and what's his face?
Brett Goldstein.
Brett Goldstein. Yeah, like they didn't have any chemistry. And
Yeah.
I think Jennifer Lopez is a pretty good actress. Brett
Hmm.
Goldstein, like there are scenes where he's like trying to be like, I guess, kind of serious. and it just doesn't work. And any like romantic talk between the two of them is just like so awkward and forced,
Mhm.
and it just it did not work for me. So like all of the romance stuff was like so like bland and boring to me that
Yeah.
when that one scene happened, I was like, "Whoa, that's awesome."
Um, I mean that makes per like you gotta also this is a Netflix movie, right?
Yeah, yeah, or
Like
one of the
it
streaming services.
okay. Um, that could also be a factor. It's also a Jennifer Lopez like they all kind of fall into the same category there.
Yeah.
Um, and this definitely I don't think this is the movie for Brett Goldstein. Um, he can shine big time. Like he's in Ted Lasso. He's great in
Mhm.
that. He's great in Shrinking. He has an amazing part in that. And I know he's an amazing writer too because he writes all the stuff that he's typically in. I think he wrote this, unfortunately.
That's really unfortunate.
But the one thing he needs above all else, because I know he's a massive super fan, is that he just needs to be in a Muppet movie. He is a
Let's make it
mass
happen.
he is a massive Muppets fan, and I guarantee you he would kill in a Muppets movie.
I'm sure he would do much better in a Muppets movie than in a like random Netflix rom-com.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I also saw who else was in this movie? Was Tony Hale in this movie
I'm not sure
as
if I
like
know who
HR?
Tony. I don't know if I know who Tony Hale is.
You ever watch Arrested Development?
Oh, a long time ago. Like I saw like the first season
He's
a
he's
long time
he's
ago.
Buster.
Okay.
He's the voice of Forky in Toy Story.
Oh,
I
okay.
think he's in it, and someone else is in it. But she's also fun. Um, I think she's the one who gives birth in the
The girl
movie.
who gives birth is the best character. Like she's actually hilarious. Like I
I
would say
yeah I
she's like her whole bit is that like she's like a workaholic and she's like fully pregnant and like after she gives birth she like insists on going back into the office the next day and is like stumbling around and everyone's like please go home.
yeah she's in she I think her name's Betty Gilpin.
She was
Um,
hilarious.
she's in Glow, the wrestling show on Netflix,
Mhm.
and she was also in The Hunt when that movie came out, and she
Okay,
was good in that movie.
cool.
Um, so yeah, where do you put Office Romance?
I definitely put it in F tier. But maybe maybe above Crime 101. Is that crazy to say?
I think just the fact that you got to witness a full-on birth head-on in this film,
I
I
think
think I think it for women everywhere, it belongs up there.
I guess. No, that was the best scene in the movie, and so that
Okay,
puts it and that's more interesting, it seems like, than anything in these three films.
yeah. Um, anyways, we have two possible segues we can go here. We
Okay.
have two ways we can go. We can go the Netflix route with roommates, I believe,
Yeah.
or we can stay on Brett Goldstein and move on to Sheep Detectives.
Oh my God. I really want to talk about Sheep Detectives.
All right.
So, and I feel like we should do a good movie now.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, yeah, because honestly, yeah, we've kind of just been middling about since Send Help. Let's talk about Sheep Detectives.
Yeah, let's talk about like in my opinion, the best movie to come out in 2026 so far.
Wow. Okay.
It's peak. It's peak. This movie genuinely made me cry. It
hmm
was it was hilarious. All the jokes like hit for me. Like the humor was just so good. Um, I mean the cast is great. Um, so many heartwarming moments. And the unfortunate thing is I don't really think this movie is gonna get the credit that it deserves. Uh,
hmm
like I think it's probably gonna be pretty overlooked in the grand scheme of things. But I do think people should go watch this movie just because of just like how positive of an experience it was watching it. Like it was truly a joy.
Okay. Yeah. I actually don't think it's gonna be over. It might just be my own Instagram feed,
You're
but
probably more in tune with this than I am, so
I'm getting swarmed with so many uh memes about sheep detectives and about how emotional it is. I believe I sent you and Pat a meme where it was like when I told my friend that sheep detectives were just a cutesy little detective story, and then
Yeah.
it's he comes back destroyed, sobbing.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that was
yeah,
me.
this is I gotta let me see here. Yeah, I think this is the movie that made me cry the most so far this year. Yeah, I can definitely confidently say that. Um, it hits every emotional beat it needs to. It's cute. It's funny. Um, I think that the CG animals are well done, which I don't say
They're
too
really
much,
well done.
but
Like
like
they
yeah,
were I mean, it's not like they looked like realistic, but it was like the right mix between like realistic and cartoony
mhm,
that worked. I mean, the best thing in terms of the humor was like when something would be happening over in the town and then like the cop would just like look over and just see the sheep like just staring at him like totally like blank expression on their faces and
mhm,
I would just like burst out laughing every time that happened.
yeah. Um, the guy who wrote this, so I actually bought very recently a book written by the guy who wrote this on
Really?
screenwriting, because this is also the guy who made superhero movie was kind of his career start. He worked kind of in the scary movie area
Mhm.
at the start, and then he moved into the critically acclaimed, widely considered one of the best TV shows of all time, Chernobyl.
Oh
He
wow.
wrote all those,
Yeah.
and now he is writing all of the Last of Us show.
Wow. So this guy's got a resume.
And then he comes out with Sheep Detectives and blows everyone away with it.
I mean, he is a great writer then.
I
I
mean,
props to
clearly
him.
had to start somewhere, and now he's showing his peak.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, this is genuinely peak.
yes. Did you solve the case before the reveal?
No, but I'm also not good at that sort of thing. Did you?
I was so close, but I didn't understand what the final clue was.
Mhm.
I was so confused. I was like, what do these colors mean? I don't get it. But
Yeah.
I understood sort of the one loose end that they left at that will reading um with a character,
Mhm.
but I didn't piece together. I tied it to the wrong person. I tied it to the wrong person. And I'm actually so happy with who they decided to go with as the reveal. Because I was like, that is so smart.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't want to be able to successfully predict a mystery movie, but
Mhm.
I would want to get kind of close.
Yeah.
And it's like when the reveal makes sense in the grand scheme of things, I think
Yeah.
that tends to be pretty satisfying.
hmm I mean, it's crazy to me to think that I couldn't solve Sheep Detectives, but I have solved every single Knives Out movie thus far.
Have you? That's impressive.
Uh, I will say Wake Up Dead Man, I I knew who it was. I didn't know how it was done.
Okay.
Glass Onion, I knew everything because it was so obvious, which was
Yeah.
the point.
Right. Right.
And then the first one, I really don't feel like there was too much mystery to it.
Yeah.
That's how it is. So I think that we will put Cheap Detectives. I mean, I have this in A tier of mine. It is in seventh place for me. But that's just, again,
You've seen more movies and you've probably seen
I've seen
better
peak.
movies than I have.
Yes.
So I believe you. I have this in my S tier, obviously.
Yes. Do you have this though, above or below Project Hail Mary?
You're gonna hate me. Well, what place did you put Project Hail Mary?
I have Project Hail Mary one above Cheap Detectives. I have them. They're both
Okay.
like right next to each other.
Yeah, okay. I saw these like on consecutive weekends basically, and I
hmm
saw Project Hail Mary first, and I was like, this is fantastic. And then the next weekend, I saw Sheep Detectives, and I walked out of Sheep Detectives. I was like, that was better than Project Hail Mary.
All right, then we can put that up at the top of S.
All right, sick.
Um, so I know exactly. Again, segue. I'm loving connecting these movies.
Yeah, no, this is great.
Um, we connect by another actor, Nicholas Gladstein or whatever his name is, aka He-Man, Master of the
That's
Universe.
right. Yes, I because when I watched Sheep Detectives, I was like, he looks very familiar. And it's literally because he was in the trailers before Sheep Detectives.
He's He-Man.
Yeah.
Um, so you haven't seen
I
this
have
movie.
not seen Masters of the Universe.
So this was a lot of fun. I was going into this with like middling expectations.
Mhm.
I was like, this could either be really good or really bad.
Yeah,
I had faith, I would say, just because the director, Travis Knight, son of uh, the founder of Nike, um, he is the but he is the founder of Leica, which we were talking about
right.
recently. You know,
Yeah.
Coraline, Kubo, all that kind of
Yeah, a
stuff.
lot of great
Like,
films from them.
and he made Bumblebee, which is considered one of the better transform live action Transformers.
Right.
Um, I was like, he could probably pull this off, and I think he did. This is a very fun movie. I had a smile on my face the entire time. Like this, He-Man is inherently a very goofy franchise.
Right,
It
of
is
course. It's
it.
it's very old and nerdy, but
Mhm,
it's like it's also kind of like uh I don't know. It's there are not a lot of like I guess younger people who really know about He-Man and all that
mhm.
stuff and like Skeletor. Like
Yeah,
was this like an 80s thing or
it
earlier?
was an '80s thing. So it started out as a toy line.
Right.
Um,
And I think there are still toys. And
yes,
I think honestly the main purpose of making this is to sell toys. But it sounds like it did accomplish everything that it needed to in terms of just like it was a fun time.
it was a fun time. Unfortunately, it flopped.
That's
From
unfortunate.
what I've heard from box office reports here. Um, which I don't think it deserves, but you know, it's also an Amazon production, so
Were people
they
really clamoring for a Masters of the Universe movie? Like was the fan base really like wanting this?
I'm not sure because I would have to be talking to like 40-year-old men
Yeah,
about
like
that.
my thing. It's like I feel like the market for this is
But
like grown-ups.
I don't think that they're needed. Like I see this as a way to get a new generation to love He-Man.
Yeah.
And as someone who'd never seen He-Man before, I love He-Man now. Like I'm like this is a great time.
Yeah.
A mate spectacular score. Um I'm not sure if it was new or inspired by older music,
I'm sure it was to some extent inspired
but
by the old stuff.
apparently and this is why I'm like was this new or old is that Brian May of Queen is like playing is shredding guitar the entire movie
Oh, that's
of the
hilarious.
soundtrack.
That's
Um
so good.
but I thought it embraced the goofiness of He-Man, which is so important, and it didn't feel ashamed by it.
Yeah.
Um
The actor I feel like
Skeletor,
has the main actor for He-Man. What's his name again?
Nicholas G. That's what we'll
Okay.
call
Yeah, he has a very like goofy looking face.
him.
Like and I mean that as a compliment because I feel like he fits the role well.
Yeah. Skeletor was fun. I'm sad to say that Jared Leto did a good job.
Yeah, I kind of
But
hate
like
Jared Leto, but
at the
I guess
same
that's
time, if
fine.
I was never told that was Jared Leto, I would have never thought it's Jared Leto. You
Yeah.
don't see his face and it's not his voice. It's not. It's put through some kind of modulator.
Mhm.
Like it's a good performance. It just unfortunately has Jared Leto's name attached to it.
Yeah.
Um and I will say I did get giddy in my seat when He-Man became He-Man. He
I
gets
mean,
the
it's pretty exciting.
he grabs the sword and he goes, "I have the power." And it was one of the best movie moments of the year. Um Unfortunately, the movie does try and do a Barbie type thing with masculinity a little bit, but because of the fact that He-Man's constantly fighting with violence, it doesn't necessarily land where it needed to.
Hmm.
But I see what they were going for by comparing toxic masculinity of Skeletor and the healthy masculinity of He-Man.
Yeah,
But you're also knocking guys out and killing them with a sword.
right. Like
He
he has to be badass at the same time.
does. He has to be badass, but he also has to be, you know, a positive role model, which I thought he was. So I have this one above the middle here. I have this at 12th place out of 22. I have this in B, and
Does that put it above or below Toy Story?
it's above Toy Story for
All
me
right.
because I had Toy Story in C initially. So yeah,
Cool. All right. Well, I feel like I probably have to watch that at some point then. I mean, the trailers did make it look really fun.
it was more fun than I thought I would have had with it. It was
Cool.
funny too. I laughed. It was
Nice.
good.
Nice. Should I tell you about roommates?
Please tell me about roommates. Yeah, I haven't seen great things about this.
So I didn't hate it. I did not hate it.
Okay,
It's produced by Adam Sandler and stars his daughter,
yeah,
Sadie Sandler. Um, and it's a pretty like simple story where it's like two like college roommates who kind of like don't really or they get along at first, but then their differences become very apparent. They start kind of antagonizing each other and become more, it's like friends to enemies sort of situation. Um, Now, it's a straight to Netflix movie. I would say it's there are some like funny moments in it. I think the end scene, like the climax of the movie, is pretty fun because they really escalate like the fighting between the two roommates, which
okay,
I think gets pretty entertaining. Um, but I felt like I don't know, like the dialogue was kind of like on the nose. It was, you several other movies on this list, like you compare like the writing to, and I feel like this sort of movie just falls like a tier below that, just in terms of like the quality of the writing. Like it feels like ChatGPT kind of wrote the script a little bit in some points.
hmm
So from that standpoint, it's not very memorable. It does have like one like I guess like shock factor scene in it. I guess similar to Office Romance, um, where she walks in on the roommate doing some intimate activities.
okay.
Um, so I feel like I don't know. Maybe this is just from watching these two movies, but I feel like a lot of these straight to streaming movies have like really like basic and generic plots, except throw in one like crazy wild scene that they then use to promote the movie, or at least get people talking about it and be like, "Oh my
Yeah,
God, this movie had like this crazy scene in it. You have to watch it." But maybe that's just like I don't know if that's an actual tactic or if it's just something that I've noticed from watching a couple of these movies, but it is something that I've seen that's kind of consistent.
I actually think I saw an Instagram reel related to that scene, like where it's like I can't believe this happened.
Yeah, I mean,
But
it just gets people talking about it.
the problem is, I think that this movie came out at the worst time it could have because I think around this time the Amazon show Off Campus came out, which
Yeah.
is another college thing, which from everything I've heard and unfortunately seen come across by Instagram, it takes the shock factor a little bit higher, a little bit.
But I also think like that show, like I've seen bits and pieces of it. I think it's much more like well written than something
It
like this.
it is also a very different vibe, very different. Like it is that is much more just like a romance.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, like college setting and people and actors I don't know, it all melded together. And I
Yeah.
think everything I've seen for roommates, I've just naturally thought is off campus.
So you're just kind of blending the two together in your mind, I guess.
Because I've been swarmed with off campus stuff, and I'm like, why? I have not seen this.
Yeah. Well, I guess it was very popular. I don't know how popular Roommates was, but I mean, it was still relatively enjoyable, but I do take issue with like kind of the shock factor of it all in that oh, my lamp just went out. I take issues sometimes with movies that will just have like one scene that they use to kind of promote it or get people talking, and then the rest of the movie is kind of just like whatever. And I have that same issue with another film on this list, and I don't think you're going to agree with me. But we'll get to that when we get there. I'm going to put Roommates in F tier, but I'm going to put it at the top of F tier.
Really? I thought that you would have put that in C tier.
I mean, there's an argument for it, but I definitely think Supergirl is way better than this.
Okay.
So I don't know if this sort of unbalances our tier list, but it doesn't matter.
Don't worry. It'll be balanced out. Just you wait.
Okay. Your turn.
Okay. Um, we got that out of the way because that was kind of the one where I was like, I don't know how to jump to another movie. But let's go to let's see here. Did you watch this movie? You didn't watch this movie. Crazy. The Super Mario movie. Let's just go to the Super
Oh
Mario
yeah, I just
Galaxy
never
movie.
got to it, and I also heard it was bad. So
Yeah.
that made me not really want to see it.
Yeah. Um, let me look at here. Let me look. Yeah, I would say this was my biggest disappointment of the year.
Wow.
Um, because I was just expecting to have a fun time, you know. Like I was not expecting the world. I was not
Mhm.
expecting deep plot. I was not expecting deep characters. I had fun with the first Mario movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It made me giddy whenever like they picked up a star and then the star music was in the score. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, the
I
first one
love
was
this.
fun. The first one was
First one was
fun.
fun. And like this one should have worked. Like I don't like it
What
is
was the
un
issue? What was the issue? Like what didn't work for this one that was much better in the first one?
it just felt like the action was mind numbing. It felt like the first one had a semblance of a plot, you know, but this one it didn't. Like it was just, hey, we're gonna split up the characters. So it had Toad and Peach on their own adventure,
Hmm.
which like I unfortunately I couldn't care less about.
Yeah.
Like I unfortunately I would have rather seen them all grouped together because they
Was it an issue of like was it an issue of like they had too many characters and they needed to like Infinity War it and like split them all up?
no, like not really actually. I mean, the movie marketed Rosalina a whole bunch.
Hmm.
She's barely in the movie.
Really?
She's barely in the movie. I was like, that's that sucks.
That's underwhelming. Yeah.
Yoshi was amazing. I wish we had more Yoshi,
Yeah.
you know? I felt Yoshi was so underused. I thought Luigi was so underused. I thought Mario was underused.
Wow. And it's his movie.
I thought Mario did nothing in this movie.
Oh my God.
I thought that they had something interesting that they were doing with Bowser, and they threw that out the window.
So,
They had a redemption arc going for Bowser, and then they just said, "Nah, he's the bad guy again." I was
oh,
like,
great.
"That sucks." Bowser Jr. was boring.
So who was the
Um,
main character? Like who was like was there any main character?
I would honestly say Princess Peach.
All right.
Um, there was one character I loved, and he shows up no, halfway into the movie, I would say.
Is it
And
Star Fox?
yeah, that would be Star Fox. Star Fox was so much fun. I enjoyed every moment he was on screen, and then he disappeared for the rest of the final act.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I was like, well, that freaking sucks.
Are they gonna make a Star Fox movie or is this just like a one-time
They teased
cameo?
it. The one of the post credit scenes was Star Fox going to find his compatriots.
Oh, okay. So I
So
know
I
they remastered like the old game recently for the
mhm,
Switch.
yeah,
So maybe they're trying to drum up excitement for the franchise again.
yeah. I hope so because Star Fox is cool as hell.
Yeah,
I thought
I remember playing like I played Star Fox 64
mhm,
and that was one of my favorite games that I had when I was a kid.
mhm. I don't know. I think moving forward, they need a different villain because they stuck to Bowser and Bowser Jr. They need a different villain. They need to focus on Mario and Luigi. They need to focus on those two.
Yeah,
Maybe more so Luigi, because I have more fun with Luigi anytime I see him on screen. Maybe because it's not Chris Pratt.
probably.
Um, I had this in F tier. However, seeing how our list is coming together,
We're just throwing movies into F tier,
I
throwing them in
actually
the
think
garbage.
that this more so deserves a C tier.
Okay.
It was not insulting. I was just disappointed.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
I
fair.
just had many gripes to the movie because of the previous one.
Yeah. No,
And
that's fair. Like it's the previous one was fun. Like it was quite memorable, and I had high expectations for this one as well.
and I think that might have been the problem, is just my high expectations.
Yeah, that's probably the case. I mean, I'm sure I would have thought the same thing as well. Like I was pretty excited for this, and then I heard people saying it was bad, and I was just like, oh, I don't want to go and be disappointed.
Yeah. But it was the first movie this year to cross a billion, which
Yeah.
happy
Is
about for a person like me.
how's Minions doing commercially?
Um, Not great.
Yeah, that's disappointing because I
All
did have Minions as like my box office
I thought it would
winner
have
of
done
the year.
amazing. I thought it would have done great.
People
Um,
love Minions.
but hey, it's doing better than Supergirl.
Wow, Supergirl was
Supergirl
like
10.
was a bomb.
Supergirl, I think, is underperforming Morbius right now, and that sucks.
That's really unfortunate.
That sucks. But if you think back to Marvel, Iron Man 2 wasn't too great. So they're not off to a terrible start.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous for the DCU, but
I'm not. I have
I'm
Clayface is gonna be
only
great.
I
Superman 2 is gonna be great, and Lanterns is gonna be great.
yeah. I hope so. I hope so. Uh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really rooting for it. I'm trying to see like which ones I've actually seen from this
So I
list.
honestly, I think I should maybe go on a little bit of a run here of ones I've only seen. Because
Do you want to speed run a couple?
how many left here have you seen?
I'm looking at this list and I think it's only the drama.
All right.
All
So let's do a little bit of speed run here.
right.
I'll start with Hokum,
Okay.
uh, right next to Backrooms there.
Yeah.
So Hokum, it was a nice spooky little time. Adam Scott just in a rundown hotel, taunted by ghosts and such. A little bit of a murder mystery too, which was a little surprise aspect of it.
Hmm.
Um, it was a good movie for what it was. I don't get scared by horror movies really anymore. This one didn't scare me. It was more so just like a mood piece.
Yeah.
Um,
I still do. Like, I don't know. I don't watch enough of them though. Like, I bet if I exposed myself to more of them, then I would just like be whatever. Whoa, whoa, pause,
no,
pause,
no need to expose
pause,
yourself.
pause. But yeah, I'm sure if I watched more of them, I would be like, I guess less sensitive. Not that I'm like actively like, I guess scared of them, but I just don't really enjoy watching them.
I can, yeah, I understand. I mean, for me, the reason I just don't get scared anymore, I think, is it's not it's not like a desensitizing thing. Like I'm not desensitized by it all.
Hmm.
It's more so I appreciate the craftsmanship now.
Yeah.
Like, man, how long has it been? It's coming up on maybe like 10 years of watching like dead meat on YouTube,
Hmm.
and like just seeing all the work and effort put into like the scares and the kills that they all do. It's like it gives me such an appreciation for that.
Yeah.
And like Hokum didn't have anything like scary, but it did have a great character arc. It was a great character study, I thought. It had a great emotional core. Um, it went places I wasn't expecting it to in the first act. Um, and it had characters I was rooting for. I had this at 13th, just below Masters of the Universe. Um, I would put this in between Master Universe and Toy Story.
All right.
I
That's
think
pretty
it does
good.
I think it does character work better than Toy Story.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
I
yeah.
yeah, horror movies for me like that, like I definitely see what you're saying though with the craftsmanship. Like I do think it is very hard to create a genuinely like unsettling scene.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I think that's a talent.
And that's where my disappointment with those F tier ones come in.
Yeah.
Like there's definitely craft.
It
There was
sounds like
craft.
there's some
Yeah.
like garbage in those movies.
There was craftsmanship, definitely an Evil Dead burn, but just I just felt too insulted by the story. I feel like
Yeah.
it just
That sounds
it
like that one was a little personal for you.
yeah. I was really hoping it would be a surprise, but and
Yeah.
then Passengers just absolute dog water.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep on horror here. Um, let's go to Backrooms.
Yeah.
Um, Backrooms was interesting. Backrooms was very interesting. Backrooms has grown on me since I've watched it.
Really? Okay. I've
Um,
heard people really liking it. And I do really respect that it's like fully directed by like the guy who like made the YouTube stuff. And he's like super young. Like I love that they gave him the opportunity to make this.
mhm. Um, oh wait, did I say that there is a this is the movie that scared me the most this year.
Really?
This one actually had a moment that scared the crap out of me. I completely forgot. Um, yeah, this movie. So, story time here. When I saw this movie, I was in Florida. I was visiting Universal Studios Orlando,
Okay.
and I really wanted to see Backrooms. I didn't want to wait, and I was like, they have a theater there in the park. I'm gonna see it on the biggest screen they have, which happened to be at 11 o'clock at night. So I took a bus from my hotel. I sat down in a basically empty theater and watched Backrooms and left the park last second I possibly could have at like 1 or 2 in the morning.
Damn.
Um, so it definitely added to the eeriness of watching this movie, definitely. Um, I think this is a very intellectual movie. Like the YouTube series is very much a mood piece in
Mhm.
like the liminal space and stuff like that. And you get some of that here, um, especially when it gets into that found footage aspect, which
Right.
I every time they shifted that, I was like, these are the best parts of the movie. Like
Yeah.
the opening is great. It really just throws you right in. But there's a part in the middle that I think is some of the best horror work I've seen in quite a bit.
Wow.
Um, but this is very much a philosophical movie. It's very psychological.
Mhm.
It takes our two characters, um, the main character who, well, they're both main characters. The guy who owns the furniture store, I forget what his name is, and his therapist, and it very much like looks into the minds of them and like kind of shows. It uses the backrooms to represent their problems and all that. Um, and that was good and all. The creature design that they had was great. The room design they had was great. Anytime there was a noise in the back rooms, I was scared, which is great.
Yeah.
Um, the ending I was a little disappointed with because it just kind of stops, which I had the same problem with Disclosure Day. Um,
Yeah. It was
but
kind of abrupt.
there's one, it's got to be maybe a 10-minute section in the middle that scared me so much. And I don't think I'm ever gonna forget that Christmas tree room. Like
Was this part of the found footage section?
this was part of the found footage, and I jumped in my seat.
Was it genuinely a jump scare?
It was a jump scare, but not in like a ooh kind of way, but
Yeah.
like something like walks in the frame,
Oh,
and
okay.
I was like, run, get out of there.
Yeah.
Um, I think that this is I'm kind of like my ranking here is kind of all over the place now. Like I'm moving things around as we talk.
Yeah.
I would put this below Send Help in the A tier.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. All right.
I
Let me.
feel like, do you want to go to Obsession? I feel like sometimes these movies are kind of talked in like kind of the
Yeah.
same breath. Like kind of, they came out around similar times, both horror movies that were really popular. Obsession kind of came out of nowhere. Like,
Yes.
it-
Let's
let's get
gladly
into
talk
that.
about Obsession. Um, on my list, I have it at number 2 on my list. It might be number 3 now. It's
Really?
up there. It's one of those because the movie I have in third might have moved up in my head.
Okay.
But anyways, Obsession. When I saw the first trailer for this movie, I was like, I thought it would be like Passenger, honestly. I was
Mhm.
like, this doesn't look like much. I didn't know who Curry Barker was. I didn't know much about this movie. I saw it on a whim because I saw it before the word of mouth spread. I had no idea what this was.
Yeah.
I sat down in a pretty packed theater because it was new, and it was one of the best times I had in the theater this year. It was funny, it was scary, it was it had such a great message. I feel like about masculine, like incel culture and all that.
Mhm.
Um, like autonomy and all that kind of stuff. Like it really handled so much stuff without losing the fun, losing the scariness, and I gotta say, the best performance of this year so far in Indy Navarrete, who plays Nikki in this movie, who is essentially taken over by the One Wish Willow,
Mhm.
and like set up an Oscar campaign already. Like
Really?
get her
Okay.
in there. Like Aunt Gladys might have won last year. I think this tops Aunt Gladys in
All
terms of
right.
how impressive of a acting performance this was. Because this movie rides or dies on her performance here,
Yeah.
and I 100% believe that she is a very big reason why this movie has succeeded as well as it has, because
Yeah.
it's her performance that has people talking. It's her
Yeah. It sounds
performance
like
that
she
makes
really
people come to
carries.
see. She
Yeah.
really did, and I mean, no detriment to anyone else in this movie. Like the guy who plays Bear is great. The director and writer, coming from YouTube sketch comedy, like coming from that world to bring such an instant classic,
Yeah.
it's just like it's so impressive, and I can't wait to see what he does next. Apparently he's doing like a horror comedy about ghost hunters,
Oh,
and
cool.
I'm so excited. This was an S tier for me.
Nice.
Um, I I will put it below Sheep Detectives in
Above
this list.
Project Hail Mary.
I will put it above Project Hail Mary though.
Would
I
you
can't. I
as as someone who doesn't watch horror movies, would you recommend this movie for me?
Yes, the scares in this movie aren't off-putting to a non-horror audience, I would say.
Hmm.
There's obviously scary moments, but it's nothing that will have you like, I can't watch this.
Yeah.
I feel like by the point in the movie where you get to these moments, I think you'll be so just enthralled and invested in that moment that
Hmm.
like it will just flow with the story.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
it is extremely well done. Um,
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I think I definitely want to check this one out. Like it's I mean, people are talking about it kind of the same way that you are, where it's, the performances are great and it's just kind of a fun time overall and kind of unexpectedly so.
Mhm.
So I feel like this is another one that I'm probably gonna have to go back and take a look at.
Yeah. Um, and so let's. round out our, yeah, I would consider this to be the last horror movie on this list here.
Mhm.
Let's get scary movie out of the way here.
I thought you were gonna go with one of the other ones because I don't
No,
know,
because
is Ready
the
or
others
Not
aren't horror movies, I would say.
okay? Okay,
Um,
scary movie.
throw that absolute abomination to the bottom of
This
this
is
list. That is wrong one. It
which?
is
Oh,
next
here
to
it is. Here
drama
it is.
there. Throw that abomination below Passenger. You know how bad of a movie you have to make to be below Passenger? Do you realize how much of an affront to my eyes and ears this movie was? This movie was an insult to my intelligence, to my being as a human
Oh my
person.
goodness.
This movie was awful on so many levels.
Oof.
This, it was so unfunny. It was so out of touch with
Yeah.
culture that I was just like dumbfounded that they made six of these. I've watched the first two and like I'm not huge fans of them,
Mhm.
but I can like see, oh, I see why this was popular. I see why people love this movie. It's a fun time, you know. I did not have a fun time with this movie.
Why do they
Um,
keep making them?
what?
Why do they keep making these movies?
Well, this was really this is the sixth one. This is only the third one the Wayans brothers worked on. They did the first two and then were kind of pushed out by production.
Hmm.
Um, and so they were like, "Oh, we're coming back with this." And then they came back with something that they were like, "Oh, woke is gone now. There's no such thing as cancel culture. We're gonna make this movie and you snowflakes can't get hurt about it."
Ugh.
And I watched and I was like, there is nothing in here that I feel warrants that kind of marketing. This is
Yeah.
it is not insulting in the way that it's like political or like, ooh, we don't care about your feelings. It was just not funny. And that was more insulting than anything that they could have done otherwise.
It's like they thought they were cooking. Like
Hmm.
they came back to the franchise. They're like, we're really gonna like go crazy with
We're
this
gonna push
one.
the envelope
We're
here.
gonna push the envelope. We're gonna go where no one's gone before, and it's just like it's just a steaming pile of garbage.
Yeah. I
That's like
mean,
not even funny.
because they try and make fun. So I saw a very good point about this. They try and poke fun at all these new horror movies that are so much better than this movie. But what worked about the old scary movie movies is the fact that the Wayans brothers were younger. They were, in their 20s
Hmm.
and they were poking fun at the man, like all these like big studio heads who were, it felt like David versus Goliath, like
Yeah, they were punching up.
punching up
Yeah.
at these big movies by these big stars. But now the Wayans are millionaires. They're old as hell, and they're punching down on all these like smaller productions, like The Substance and Terrifier and
It just doesn't
Sinners.
work anymore, it seems.
It's punching like now they're punching down, and they're just so out of touch that it's not funny. It's just sad and insulting.
That's
they
unfortunate.
they even do. They also centered this movie on a gag character, which is Marlon Wayne's character, and he was nothing but a side character in the other movies because his whole thing is, I smoke weed and I'm an idiot.
Mm.
You cannot center a movie around a character like that.
Yeah.
That only works in small doses, not
Right.
in full on sequences where they are sucked into K pop demon hunters and have a four-way with the demons.
Does that actually happen in this
It
movie?
actually happens in this movie.
Holy shit.
It is, yeah. There is one funny moment, and it is the ending of the movie. Because the ending of the movie pokes fun at the fact that the Wayans weren't there for 3, 4, and 5. And they do so by bringing back Anthony Anderson and Shaquille O'Neal,
Oh God,
who was pretending to be Kevin Hart by being on his knees the entire movie
that's
because they were
stupid.
they were in 3 and 4.
How many times has the joke been made Kevin Hart is short?
How much time do you got? I got to count them
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
But
None of what you're saying is surprising me. Um, this is another movie that I just kind of saw the trailer for and was just like, I'm definitely not watching this. Like so many of the jokes that they put in the trailer were really just like cringe
and that's exactly what the movie was.
and they just clearly thought they were being way funnier than they actually were.
Yeah. And there was like 6 people that wrote this thing. And it's like this made it past 6 people.
Yeah. No, that's awful. That's awful.
Yeah.
Um,
I I'm just happy I watched this in between. What did I watch this in between? I watched He-Man after this. What did I watch before it? Oh, I Love Boosters. Let's go to I Love Boosters.
Yeah, this one I have not seen, but seems like one of the more interesting movies
It
that
is a very
came.
interesting movie. It is the most message heavy of all the films on here.
Mhm.
Um, it is definitely the most creative, I would say, on this one here. Um, it's a very original, Boots Riley film, who made Sorry to Bother You, which is a great film. I think, unfortunately, though, a better film than this. I had a lot of fun with I Love Boosters. I thought that the message was great and all that. I thought that the style and the acting, I thought everything was great. I just didn't feel it all mesh perfectly. Like it just felt like there was too much going on at the same time that a few things kind of collided with each other. And towards the end, it kind of loses some steam a little bit
Mhm.
and doesn't necessarily have the resolution I would have hoped for, but it falls in line with the message trying to talk about with like labor and the exploitation of workers and all that, which is I love the fact that it's calling something out like that.
Yeah.
Um, I thought that the gimmick that they had was fun. Each Boots Riley has something weird going on in all his other movies. Um, there's something to do with I'll just say there's stuff to do with horses and voices in Sorry to Bother You. That's as vague as I can get. With this one, it's a device that they have, and I can get into this a little bit, but it's a teleporter, and it also like changes reality in fun ways,
Mhm.
and they have a lot of fun with that. And I was always happy when they played around with it. Um, and then the score, it's still stuck in my head. It's a very catchy score. Um, a lot of fun. Um, Definitely the most original and most creative one on this list. Where do I have it? I have it in 10th place here. I would put this, I think this is going to be last on the A tier for me.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like it was a good time. It sounds like it had like something to say, and definitely one that I think I'll go back to as well.
All right. Oh, I'm sorry. I want to save the drama for later so that like you have something to talk about.
I'm willing to save the drama for the end if you want to wait on that one.
Yeah.
Because I think we're
Yeah,
gonna disagree on that one.
really.
I think so. Well,
Okay.
actually, I don't know. I don't know. But let's.
I
Okay.
think we are going to disagree on that one actually.
So, okay, hold on. I'm curious.
Yeah,
So,
what do you want to know about?
in my headspace, the movies Ready or Not 2 and They Will Kill You, definitely very different movies, but occupy the same space in my mind in some for some aspect, just in terms of like them being kind of like these like action like bloody action movies. They Will Kill You, I think almost every single time I went to the theater this year, they had the trailer for it,
Mhm.
and I felt like I'd watched the whole movie from watching the trailer.
So actually, I had the exact same thought. I watched the movie and I said, "Wow, I didn't actually watch the whole movie. I'm shocked."
In a
um,
positive way or
in a very positive way.
okay,
Um, 'Cause yeah, I'm gonna tackle these two movies at the same time here because they
cool.
are
Let's
very
do it.
much similar movies where it is a character fighting against
Like a bunch of other
a
people.
bunch of other people. I'll start with They Will Kill You. I saw these both on the same day, I think, actually.
Oh,
Um,
nice double feature.
I think I watched Hoppers on the same day too.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that one definitely fits.
um, but They Will Kill You was a lot of fun. I thought that the set was great. I thought the characters were fun. I thought the gimmick they had was so much fun. Um, because I think I know what you're thinking that spoiled the whole movie, and I'll tell you it doesn't. And I
Okay.
think what you're thinking, this might delve into a little spoiler here, but I know when I watched the trailer, I was like, wow, she really just killed some of the biggest names in the movie in what looks like the beginning of the movie. I was shocked where they went next.
Okay.
Um, the action is so much fun in this movie.
It seemed
I
great. Like the choreography and like how gory and
How it
like
was shot
awesome it
was
was.
awesome.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like quick cuts. It wasn't like oh we're gonna hide our actor with stunt doubles by cutting like real close. No, it most of the action were long takes and just wide shots where they
Nice.
set the camera back and they let the characters just go on their own.
Yeah.
Um, I thought it was fun. I did kind of see the ending coming, but that's not such a bad thing. There's only so much you could do with where they went. Um, but I this was a hidden gem this year. I was
Nice.
not expecting to like this movie, and I ended up loving it. I have this. Um, okay, I don't have this anywhere actually on my list here.
I will say one of
So I've
my
seen 23 movies this year.
yeah, okay. There you go.
I would throw this at top of B. I would throw this at top of B.
There was one part in the trailer that made me laugh out loud, and it's when the like kid like stabs her in the back and she turns around, she's like, "You little shit." And that just got
Oh
me.
yeah. Um, I think she just straight up eats that kid.
Oh, great. And
Um,
yeah, what about Ready or Not too?
so I'm a fan of the first movie. I actually thought I know a lot of people probably will disagree with me on this. I think the sequel improves on it in every possible way. Um, the first because so basically the premise of Ready or Not, we gotta get into it, is
Mhm.
the fact that Samara Weaving, her character marries into this family, and every person who marries into the family has to play a game. It's just how it goes. Unfortunately, she ends up pulling a card that says they have to play hide and seek, which is the bad card. Because for some reason, there's a demon that they worship, and if they have to play hide and seek, they have to kill the person who's hiding before sunrise. Um, if they don't, they're told, "Oh, we're gonna blow up. We'll all
Yeah.
die."
Hmm.
There's a sequel, so Samara Weaving lives to the
Yeah,
first movie.
right.
The second movie expands on the lore by saying it's not just this family, there's a whole bunch of other families, and now they're all vying for power. All these families who all worship, the same demon, and they're all rich families from around the world. And to keep Samara Weaving playing, they handcuff her to her sister. And so it adds a little bit of a fun dynamic to it. Um, I think that the villains are so much more fun because the first one gets very melodramatic, and it's very like it's yellow. It's a very yellow movie in terms of color grading.
Yeah.
This one brightens things up, and has things take place, I think, at like a casino country club. And so the chance for action is just off the wall.
For sure.
Um, the character is so much fun, and it has my favorite character from across both movies, and it's basically just Elijah Wood being a little creep. It's
Okay.
Elijah Wood. Actually, it's Elijah Wood basically being Sam Reich from Game Changer. He is the lawyer executing the whole game, and he just stands by with his own little book, and he's like, "That's against the rules. Go
Oh,
right
that's
ahead."
hilarious. That's
It's
hilarious.
and it's funny. It's so good. I enjoyed this a lot. I would put this between Backrooms and I Love Boosters.
Nice. That's higher than I thought you would have it at.
I Yeah, this movie. It's also made by Radio Silence, who made two of the better Scream movies, Scream 5 and Scream 6.
Cool.
Um, they know what they're doing.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I wasn't expecting this one to be as high up given, I mean, I don't know, the sequels like this sometimes don't always hit, but
Hmm.
it sounds like this one was a lot of fun.
No, I think it's because this one had more budget. I think
Yeah,
is they also had Scream under their belt, so they leveled up.
that helps. Yeah, yeah.
All right, let's go to Mortal Kombat because I really want these last three to be the last three we talk about.
Okay, so one thing about Mortal Kombat that I mentioned is I have seen part of it, a very
Mortal Kombat
small
2?
part of it. Well, yeah, the second one, I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, like this one here.
Hmm.
Um, and I went to the movie theater I think this was when I went to go watch The Sheep Detectives, and I read my ticket wrong, and I walked into the wrong theater, and I went to go, like, I literally went like all the way to where my seat was, and then I looked at the screen and I was like, that's fully another movie playing. I'm pretty sure that's Mortal Kombat 2.
Where are
It
the sheep?
looks really strange.
Um, yeah. So, in preparation for Mortal Kombat 2, I watched Mortal Kombat 1. I didn't like it. I
Yeah.
did not like Mortal Kombat 1. I'm not a big fan of the games, but I appreciate the games.
Hmm.
And what I didn't understand about the first movie was the fact that it didn't have anything to do with the games. Like, it had the characters,
Yeah.
but the main character was a completely new character.
Gotcha.
It was like you made a new character in this world where there's so many iconic characters. A little weird. And
Yeah.
it was so melodramatic, and it was like, what's going on here? The only good part was Scorpion, um, Sub Zero, who are like basically the figureheads of the game,
Hmm.
and Kano, who was just Australian, and because of that, he's funny. Um, this movie actually delivers on the premise of Mortal Kombat, where they actually have the fighting tournament, and the whole movie is just a bunch of fights.
Do you think
And
that was in response to the reception of the first movie? Do you think they backtracked a little bit?
I think that they were planning on doing this the whole time, which makes no sense because what if that first movie failed so bad? And I think they
Right.
got lucky because it came out during COVID, so no one cared that it did poorly.
Yeah. So I guess it's like you would think that they would have done this first.
Yeah. Um, yeah, because there's plenty of new characters, but I will say there are some relationships that were more connected because I watched that first movie,
Hmm.
and like it made things that much more like, oh, whoa, crazy. Oh, don't fight, you two. You guys are friends.
Yeah. All right. So there's a
Um,
little bit of context to all the fighting and
it
stuff.
does, and I can appreciate that. Um, Carl Urban plays an American, doesn't do it too well. His New Zealand accent really
Hmm.
shines quite a couple times.
Great.
I honestly think that Glenn Powell should have been his character because he is Johnny Cage.
Hmm.
He would have done so much better. Um, but standouts in this movie was I think it was Katana. I think that's what her character was. She was awesome. I was so happy with how her character was. She was great. Um, And every fight, I don't think there was a single fight I was bored by. I thought they were all awesome. I thought the fatalities were well done. I thought that it was fun.
Nice.
That's best I can say about it. It was
That's
fun.
what it should be.
Yeah.
Like a
And
movie
then
like this.
and then by the end, the end credits song is the Mortal Kombat theme, do 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 do.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
every time they would shout it, I would also go Mortal Kombat.
yeah.
Like
Nice.
I was like awesome. Like that got my heart racing. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, this
Um,
one sounds like a great time too.
this though goes into C. It's not a great movie. Actually, you know what? No, it's below Toy Story on B. That's where it goes.
Okay, at the end of B. Yeah, our down to our last three movies. Um, Justin, which one do we want to hit first? I feel like these are all going to be pretty positively reviewed, if I had to guess.
Okay. I am going to say the most recent movie I watched, The Invite. I will talk about The Invite real quick.
This is
It
one
is
that
the
I've been really excited for, but I haven't gotten to see yet.
this I have this is the one that I was debating. I have this in third place currently on my list. I think it might have overtaken Obsession for me.
Wow, okay.
Um, this is yeah, I mean it is. Unfortunately, yeah, this is the funniest movie of the year, so far. I laughed so much during this movie. The jokes that they had were just like they were smart, but they had the right level of stupidity that it was like, why would you say that? I'm dying laughing at it.
Yeah.
But it also had four amazing performances, and surprisingly, Seth Rogen was the best performance in my opinion.
Wow, Seth Rogen in the Big 26.
I was not in this because I was hearing Oscar buzz for Penelope Cruz and Edward Norton. And I came out of that thinking Seth Rogen crushed them. I
Wow.
was so amazed by how well he did in this movie. He was funny, but he also had this such like tragic, like dramatic parts to him.
Hmm.
Like there were some parts where I was like really connected with his character, and I was like, I don't know. He this move. I said this for another. I think I might have said this for Send Help, but this movie lives and dies on these performances, especially Seth Rogen's,
Hmm.
and I think that they deliver tenfold. I This is just a movie. It takes place in one night. It could this could have been, where it's like this could have been an email. This could have been a play,
Okay, okay.
but I'm happy it wasn't
Yeah.
because the music is great. Like this is just people talking, and the music goes way harder than it has any right to. The the interesting ways that Olivia Wilde directs the camera,
Hmm.
like the way that she blocks all these scenes, are so smart and
Did
have
she
so much
direct
like
this?
she did. Yes,
Cool.
it has so much like intelligence with how she just places her characters in a scene. Like it all takes place in one apartment,
Yeah.
and yet she uses that space so well. And like I could have watched this for hours. Like they were so interesting, so funny, but yet when it needs to flip to serious, it does so in a way that I think it really earns,
Hmm.
because throughout all the comedy there's this underlaying tragedy to like this whole movie. Like I haven't even like spoken about the plot, and I don't need to, because you don't need to know anything going into this movie except that it is funny, it is sad, and it is some of the best entertainment you could see.
This is
Um,
one that I'm really gonna prioritize seeing over the. I actually was debating the other day whether I should watch this or Toy Story 5 when I went to the theater the other day, and I was like, I'll watch Toy Story 5 since I've been meaning to watch that for a while. And I think the invite came out pretty recently.
Yeah,
So yeah, but I am definitely going to prioritize getting out to this one. I love me. This is A24, right?
it is. I have a point to make about A24 when I get to another film.
Okay. I'm very curious to hear what you have to say. I feel like, yeah, A24 films are pretty great for the most part. I mean, sometimes they can be hit or miss.
Mhm.
But I do love like the originality behind a lot of them. I do think nowadays they are bringing in a lot of like really big names into these movies to do some like Oscar bait
Yeah,
for like actors who maybe have been around for a while. Seth Rogen's been around for a while. Maybe he's like, this is my Oscar bait movie or whatever.
he definitely doesn't think that, but a
Yeah,
Golden Globe
but
is definitely in his future, possibly.
okay. Yeah, I guess I don't want to assume why Seth Rogen did this, but I feel like there have been a lot of these A24 movies with bigger stars in them lately, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but maybe I would want to see more like up and coming actors in these. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Um, I'm so this is S tier.
Yeah, of
I,
course.
in my personal opinion, this is better than Cheap Detectives, but I, I, I don't feel right overtaking Cheap Detectives with a movie that only I have seen.
I mean, I'm willing to let you have this one, but if I go see this movie and I hate it, then we have to go back to this conversation.
Um, put it below Cheap Detectives.
Okay.
I'm gonna save my I'm gonna save that card. You'll This is a tool we'll be using later.
Okay, so we have two movies left here. I'll just let you decide where we go from here, Justin.
I have spoken for way too long. Let's talk about the drama.
Okay. Okay. The drama. Um, I guess where do I start with the drama? Well, I feel like first let's talk about the like marketing of this movie, which was all very unique. All the kind of promotions for it were sort of building up to, it was like this wedding happening or whatever. It's kind of like maybe you're thinking it's going to be like a traditional sort of rom-com kind of thing, but something is kind of left out of the trailer, where they kind of build up to it, and you don't know exactly what that twist is. And I think that's sort of like I guess, promise of the movie, where like you're going into this movie and like I went into this movie knowing that there's some twist that's gonna like cause all the chaos or whatever. Um, and that's sort of like the main draw of this movie, besides the fact that it's Robert Pattinson and Zendaya, who are both great actors. So I think this movie was very well done, very well acted, and I think the writing was pretty great too. But I do have an issue with this movie that is quite glaring for me that I just can't get past. And it actually goes back to some of like the Netflix movies that we were talking about earlier.
Okay.
And I did sort of tee this up a little bit earlier in our conversation, where I do think certain movies, sort of the premise of them, or at the very least, like the way that they market themselves, or is that there is going to be some sort of shocking one-time sort of moment in the film. And that happens I'm not trying to compare this movie to Roommates and Office Romance, because that is not fair at all. This movie is very much a several tiers above those movies in terms of quality, but it does sort of remind me of those films in the way that it approached the marketing and how the events of the film play out overall. And that's sort of my main issue with this film is I think when it comes down to it, I like the ending. It's a good message and everything like that. But I just didn't really like the subject matter that they went with for this movie. I, to me, I mean, to me, it was kind of uncomfortable. I don't know if we should like spoil that,
We can so this goes into my point here. I think that the marketing fails this movie in the way that it promotes the reveal like it is a big twist, when really it isn't.
Yeah,
that is the inciting incident.
right.
That
No, of course.
and so
And you
I
know
mean
it's coming. Like you know
yeah.
that like the movie is going to be about this reveal. And then for me when it came, I was like, oh, all right. Like,
Well, I think it's that mindset where you're thinking the movie is about the reveal. And what I was pleasantly surprised by and shocked by was kind of how much Zendaya disappears in this movie.
mhm.
And it very much just becomes, how does Robert Pattinson grapple with now learning this?
Yeah,
And that's really what this movie was about, is
right.
how do you navigate people's perceptive of you when something shocking like this comes out. Um, this was the most uncomfortable I'd ever been in the movie theater,
Oh, it was a very uncomfortable movie because I was like,
and
what's going to
I
happen?
I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah.
I had a hat. I had a hat. I was holding my hat like this the entire movie. I had to go like shield my eyes when some things happen. It was also funny.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
I was not put off, I think, by the subject matter they chose. I didn't have a problem with it. Um because I feel like it more so just spoke to it's this wasn't written by an American, but it definitely felt like a critique on America.
Hmm.
But also it really goes to the extremes of thought crime, basically.
Yeah,
Like how
yeah.
much can you persecute someone for having a thought? And
Right.
they kind of really
That
tiptoe with that, with how
that is
far
interesting.
things go. Um, I pray that this is his year. I think this is the year Robert Pattinson has the best chance of winning the Oscar.
Wow. I could
He has
totally see it.
because he has this movie, he has June. He could honestly be that best part of
Oh
that
yeah,
movie.
totally.
We don't know. And he also has the Chris Hansen movie coming out
Oh yeah.
where he plays Chris Hansen. Was
Right.
there another movie he was in this year?
He's is he in the Odyssey?
Yes, he is. He is in the
Okay.
Odyssey as well.
I
I
feel
was
like
like, him and
why do I
Zendaya
feel
are in
like
another
Dune
movie.
like Robert Pattinson and wait, no. Is Zendaya in the Odyssey? Yeah, she is.
Yes,
Robert Pattinson and Zendaya are in so many movies together.
this is their year.
Yeah.
This is their big year. Tom Holland, I think, is only in two this year. Like, this is the year of Robert Pattinson and Zendaya, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, totally. I think they're both
Um,
great actors, like I've said. Like,
yeah,
and I tend to really like Robert Pattinson. I mean, I will say I think the Batman is one of my favorite comic book movies. I love him in that.
yeah,
Um, I don't know. He's pretty great in everything.
yeah. Um, on the ending of this movie,
Yeah.
do you see this? I think you might have said this earlier.
Hmm.
Do you see this as a hopeful ending or a tragic ending?
I have to remember the specifics. No, I think for me it was more of a hopeful ending
Okay.
because I do think like you look back on everything that happens in the movie and then there's the whole scene in like the diner
Yeah.
and you're kind of like damn like really everything that happened in this movie was just Robert Pattinson screwing everything up for himself and it was really just him kind of like getting over his head and really not the fault of like well there was like the one girl who was like causing drama.
Who in my opinion was did something far worse than Zendaya did.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was, well, she actually did something.
Yeah.
So
Well, they found him eventually.
that was wild. That was
Oh my
wild.
God.
So that, yeah,
Yeah.
it's like you look back at it, it's you're like, okay, yeah. But
Yeah.
but
I
I think it's a more hopeful ending because yeah,
I
I think you do see him kind of become self-aware of like what of everything that happened and all the decisions that he made.
yeah, I see it as a hopeful ending as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I walking out of that theater, I felt a massive weight off my shoulders.
No,
It,
dude, same.
this was the most stressful movie of the year, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Um,
which to its credit, like it was able to kind of maintain that like tension throughout the film where it kind of puts you in Robert Pattinson's shoe. I don't remember the character's name, so I'm just saying the actors.
Yeah,
Um, it just kind of puts you in Robert Pattinson's shoes of like the uncertainty of like, what's the worst thing that could happen? Do you really know Zendaya's character at all? Like, all we're seeing is from Robert Pattinson's point of view, even all like the flashbacks and things like that are Zendaya's character, but it's all through Robert Pattinson's eyes of his interpretation of her. We don't actually know what Zendaya's character was like when she was young.
yeah. And also, I just remembered one of the funniest parts of the movie is kind of right after she kind of reveals everything, they go to the photographer and she's like, "All right, so here's the shot list. I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna
Oh,
shoot you.
that was
I'm
that
gonna
was
shoot
pretty
your
funny. That was
grandparents."
pretty funny.
I was dying when that scene happened.
Yeah, that was a really funny scene. Yeah. So I do think it was very well done. I don't love like I think I agree with you where it's like I do feel like the marketing really undercut this movie because I feel like it really built up to like that reveal, and then when it came out, I was like, oh, I'm not a huge fan of like I don't know if I really want to watch a movie about all that. It did end up kind of subverting that and being about kind of something different, which was good. But yeah, it was definitely an uncomfortable watch where I'm like, I don't even think I could say I enjoyed watching it just
Mhm.
because of how uncomfortable it was at certain points. But I definitely respect what it did. Like I feel like it was a well done movie and well acted, but I don't think I enjoyed watching it.
All right, so what tier? Where do you place this movie?
Well, you probably do you put it in S? Is
I
this an
had
S
this
for
in
you?
A tier.
A tier? I'd be okay with putting it at the end of A tier.
The end,
Just
the very.
yeah, like I'd probably put it in a B tier for me just because it again well done, but I don't think I it was really for me. But
Okay.
I do think it was like looking at this list, I'm like I do think it was one of the better done movies from
Mhm.
this year so far. So I'd put it at the end of A
End
if
of
that
A.
if that's cool with you.
Yeah. Could we? How would you feel if we put it next to Backrooms and Ready or Not?
That's fine.
Yeah, because
Like putting
I
it
just just in
like
comparison to those two in particular, it's
mhm.
like I do feel like the drama was significantly better than those two. But
So
I
you want
can't.
to put
I
it
don't want
right
to.
here.
I don't want to fight past Backrooms and all that. No, you can move it back one if you want.
You
Yeah.
want to put it between them?
Well, just because you have it in B, yeah.
Oh,
So right, yeah, right where you have it right there.
okay,
Because you want
cool.
it in B, but like I have I Love Boosters and Ready or Not teetering on B as well,
Hmm.
and it's like I have Backrooms solidly in A, and so
Yeah,
I'll. That's where I kind of want to concede that.
yeah.
Um,
Okay, that sounds good. So we have one more movie here. I have not seen this movie, but I've heard amazing things about it, and I feel like you're about to glaze this movie so much. So I'm just gonna let you go.
this movie has made me a proud Canadian. Um, this was my one of the first movies I saw this year, and it still remains my favorite movie of this year, and it is fastly approaching my top movies of all time.
Wow, that's very impressive.
This movie surprised the hell out of me. I knew nothing about the show. I knew nothing about the web series. I knew next to nothing about these guys. And all it really is two goofy guys in their 40s, 30s, somewhere, who are best friends, who their main goal throughout every iteration of their characters is just to try and play a tiny little club with their band. But we never hear them play music ever. We never listen to their song. They seem like bad musicians, but they always come up with these wacky schemes. And so it's shot like a mockumentary,
Hmm.
but like not like The Office where like they have like interviews on the side. It's nothing. It's just imagine I picked up a camera and I followed you and Pat around as you guys just did your thing.
Yeah.
That's how this movie treats it. And I was blown away by how they did this because I could never tell what was real or what was fake
Hmm.
with what they shot. I mean, the big marketing of this movie was the fact that they were going to skydive off of what is essentially the Space Needle of
Yeah.
Canada. And that whole sequence, I was like, how are they getting away with this? How are they doing this? It was racking my brain with how such a small indie movie could do so much.
Yeah.
And then it essentially becomes what the movie really is, which is a ripoff of Back to the Future 1 and 2.
So I know there's like time travel involved, and they are like, this is the basically the DeLorean, and we're going. I know they go back to like a couple different time frames.
Um, they do that shamelessly, and it proceeds to be the one of the funniest. Unfortunately, the invite is funnier. I
Okay.
have to say that the invite is funnier.
Yeah.
Uh, this movie made me laugh harder.
Okay.
The invite made me laugh more. This made me laugh harder. Um, there is a certain joke in the movie where he's trying to prove that the time machine works. And so he inputs into he inputs another date and he goes, "Just hang on 1 second. You're going to be laughing in a minute." And he inputs 9/11.
That's
You're gonna
crazy.
just hang on, you'll be laughing in a second, he says.
That's
Um,
wild.
but this is the craziest, goofiest, shouldn't work in a million years kind of movie. And somehow they pull off the time travel seamlessly by somehow interacting so well with themselves from 2008.
Mhm.
And the way that they do it is just so crazy. But there's my favorite part about this movie isn't the comedy. It's how much heart this movie surprisingly had. And it's just one of the greatest movies about friendship I think I've ever seen.
That's awesome.
The, there's a line in the movie, and it really just hammers home just how surprisingly deep this movie gets, where a character goes, if you have a best friend, you won't even realize you're growing old.
Oh, that's
And
heartwarming.
it's basically this movie is a testament to friendship and how even though these two characters can piss each other off so much, they are so important to each other that they really wouldn't want to go through life with anyone else.
That's
And
very touching.
I recommend this movie to anyone and everyone I always talk to. I just say, you have to see this movie. I have successfully shown it to Tommy and Demetrius, and they loved it. And I was so happy. And this is just something that if you have the opportunity to watch this movie, I got the chance. I was so lucky to see this in the theater
Mhm.
with people there. I wasn't alone. There were other people there, and to laugh and gasp and smile with like so many people to this movie, this small little Canadian movie
Yeah.
of a brand I'd never heard of before. This was the most like Obsession is so impressive as an indie film. I somehow think though that what this movie does is just so impressive and in a way just extremely inspirational to like anyone who wants to make a movie
Yeah.
because it's basically like you could grab a camera and just shoot you and your buddies having fun
Yeah.
and you could make something like this and it just it's it is my favorite movie of this year and it is very close to breaking my top four.
Do you
So
think this is like best picture worthy?
I think somehow, And some way, let's get this a best international feature nomination.
Yeah,
This is
I
not
could see
best.
it.
This is not best picture material. There's no way they're gonna do that.
Yeah.
Never in a million years. But best international feature. All I'm saying is it won the Canadian Oscars,
All right.
sweeping it. It won best picture, best song for an. Also, by the way, most of this is improvised.
Like, was there just no script?
They the way that they shot 2000, basically their editor wrote the movie by basically saying, here's a bunch of clips we have,
Mhm.
let's build the movie around this.
Fascinating. I've
And
never
they
really heard of a movie that's like done that way, where they just like film a bunch of stuff and then kind of throw together a story in post, and it's like
yeah,
really good.
and they improvise. There's no script, there's no nothing, and they also end up at Drake's house. um
Oh, wonderful.
um yeah, so
Nice.
I'm impassioned. Like, I might have cried more at Cheap Detectives. I might have laughed more at um the invite.
The invite.
I might have been so astounded by Obsession, and I might have had so much hope with Project Hail Mary. But there's just something. It's if you see the movie, this is pretty funny. It's lightning in a bottle, um, because it somehow connects all four of those
Mhm.
into something that is I can never see being recreated by any movie ever again.
That is insanely high praise. I need to watch this movie.
Yeah. And I also went down the rabbit hole of the show and the web series. The show is hilarious. Every episode is parodying a different thing.
Mhm.
They do an Indiana Jones episode. They do a Wahlburgers episode somehow, and that's one of the funniest episodes they've ever done.
Yeah,
And like, I guarantee you, no one's thinking about Wahlburgers now in the big 26.
probably not. Probably not.
Yeah,
Well, there you have it. I do want to make one quick edit. I do think I would be willing to move just to balance it out. I
yeah,
think I can move roommates to the end of C tier. I because I also feel like I was like, yeah, this was kind of fun. F tier. You know what I
yeah. I
mean?
was surprised when you put in an F tier because
Yeah.
it didn't seem like you hated it. It just seemed like you
No.
were
I was just
like,
like,
all
I was
right.
like, this is like not great, but I think that probably belongs in C
Mhm.
tier. But I, looking at this tier list, I do think it makes a lot of sense. I
It
mean,
it does actually, yeah. I mean,
I'm
obviously,
kind of
like
proud of our work here.
yeah. I also think we have the tiers sorted pretty well. Like I think C tier is probably a very is one of the most concise ones, I think, that like I
Yeah.
can very clearly see a progression there of like top of C and bottom of C and all that.
And I mean, obviously, I do think like these are probably the best five movies of the year.
Yeah, I agree.
Uh,
I think that those are big heavy hitters of the year.
yeah. And maybe some people liked Crime 101. I sure didn't.
I know people liked Evil Dead, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't for me.
Argue with
Somehow
us in the
people like
comments.
Passenger.
Yeah. Maybe some
Um,
people thought Scary Movie was great.
People did because they were laughing in the theater behind me.
Oh God.
And when they did, I was stunned. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, there you have it. For all those people who were clamoring for our opinions about the movies that have come out so far in 2026, here you have it, our tier list. I'm sure we'll do the same thing again for the second half of 2026. Like we'll have to do another check-in. Probably have to like
Probably,
maybe just add to this tier list.
I think that's what we're gonna do. I mean, it's what Mitch McConnell's gonna want.
That's true. Yes.
I'm sure he's real happy when he sees this.
Yeah, no, he's gonna be thrilled. He's gonna be
Yes.
thrilled.
Yes.
Great. Yeah. Well, thanks for doing this with me, Justin. This was a grand old time. And
Yes.
who knows, maybe we'll have more podcast episodes coming soon. Maybe we'll bring in some other friends to talk about movies.
Yeah.
Um, And yeah, we'll just see how it goes. But this is what we went for basically 3 hours.
We
So,
did. Yeah.
but 3 hours well spent
Yes.
for sure. Okay, until next time.